They say he's the most overrated. They lied. He's the most hated. They said he's the most overrated. They lied. He's the most understated. They said he's the most overrated. If you ask me, he's the greatest, other than Magic. But I need y'all to all give my man Hali his respect. Right, Chill?
I didn't hear what you said, Ron. I'm sorry.
He had a poem written for Haliburton.
He had a what? A poem written for Haliburton?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
What, you want me to redo the whole thing?
I didn't hear you.
The chat heard me.
I didn't hear you.
Basically, is he still overrated?
Well, first of all, where do you have him rated? That's the $1 million question. First of all, Joe, what up, brother? I apologize.
What's up,
I kind of like ran in the door and I'm trying to take my coat off and I didn't even know we had company. Hey, Mars. So it depends. It depends on where you have him rated, Ron. So where do you have Haliburton rated? Is he the best league guard in the game?
After last night?
No, not after last night, Ron. Okay, we're not doing that. That's what we're not doing.
Why can't we do that?
No.
Yeah, he could just say he's seen new information.
No, Mars. After the Magic series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
After the Magic series,
okay, so
all of a sudden, hey, Jayson Tatum played better than everybody in the first round. Now he can move up the totem pole, right?
I love that. You know why I love that? The reason why I love that is because when we see other stuff, now he gets to move down. So this is a day-by-day thing. Okay, so with that being said,
it's a series-by-series thing.
No, we're not doing that.
What you mean, no?
Because it sounds like it's a game by game. That's what it sounds like. But okay.
It sounds like he's seen new information. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, so if he's seen new information, all right, so Luka has to move down. SGA hasn't been great in these playoffs.
Keep going.
Has Hali been better than SGA in these playoffs, Ron? That's a yes or no question. Very direct question, Ron. Has he been better than him in these playoffs?
Game winners, all of that good stuff. Two of them,
100%.
Have they lost?
Yeah, they lost game 3 or something to the Bucks.
Oh, so they got the same record as the Thunder.
Rolling through the playoffs.
Same record as the Thunder.
Rolling through the playoffs.
I'm
leading
the playoffs in assist.
100%.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, you should be.
Best assist to turnover ratio in the playoffs. Nobody else is doing that but you. That includes Joker. Okay. And also you're a pretty efficient bucket getter too. Unlike Shea.
Yeah.
Unlike Shea. Shea has not been as efficient as you would like him to be. Is that fair?
That's beyond fair.
Okay, so all right. So now we got the same record in the playoffs, right? We got the same record in the playoffs. I got a better assist to turnover ratio than you. I've been scoring the basketball at a more efficient rate than you, right?
Yeah,
we're in the same. We're in the same round. All right, I know you're going to win the league MVP, and you've been awesome all season. Probably better than me, not probably better than me all year. But we're going off new information, which is right now. Say it, Ron.
You know what? You know what?
Say it, Ron.
You know what? All right, I'm about to say it because I seen somebody get cooked to a crisp yesterday, and I refuse to jump in that deep dish. I refuse to jump in that burner. So you know what I'm gonna say?
This is entrapment.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm gonna lead the West. I'm gonna lead the West Coast out of this. The best in the East.
No,
we the best in the East.
No, don't do that, Ron.
We the best in the East.
This is nasty. The reason why this is nasty because, Ron, you're not sitting on the fence. You on the other side of the fence, but you still on the fence. You haven't jumped on the ground yet. Ron, get off the gate. Get off the fence, Ron.
Why can't he say best in the East?
Peer pressure is a thing, man.
Yeah, he said best in the East. That means he better than Brunson. He better than Dame. He better than Garland.
He better than Giannis.
Trey.
Hey, man, Giannis just got packed up.
Like, he better than one of them. He the best. Are you the best player in the East or the best point guard in the East, huh?
Sound like the best player.
Better
than Jayson Tatum, better than Jalen Brunson.
Hey, we the best in the East.
Better than Donovan Mitchell. He's a better player than Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, you seen Donovan get cooked last night.
Yes, sir. Even though
my best player better than your best player. That's 2-0.
Even though, oh my God! Every time I say that, right? Every time I say that, and I believe it because I do have legit logic behind it, right?
Me too.
I do have legit logic behind it, and you do too. But last night, last night, those last 47 seconds was not my best player is better than your best player. That was not that.
No, that was Ty Jerome spelling the game.
It wasn't Hali being better than your best player. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
So Haliburton drawing that foul on Donovan Mitchell.
Shouldn't have been a foul. Number one.
Which wasn't a foul.
Donovan Mitchell got some favorable calls.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was a foul. Personally,
two wrongs don't make a right. Number one.
But the damn show make us even. But the damn show makes us even. No doubt about that.
Number two, there ain't no way in hell that Haliburton should have gotten that shot off the way that he got it off, as cleanly as he got it off, without a little bit of assistance from a man, Ty Jerome.
Okay.
You take Ty Jerome out of this equation,
that's cool.
You're not talking all this
creation,
shit today.
That's cool shot creation.
I mean, come on.
You know what?
It's a shot put.
Ron, you know what I'm going to do right now?
He created the shot. He created the separation. He got the shot off and cash.
You know what I'm going to do, Ron, right now? I'm going to take back my statement that I just said. It was my best player is better than your best player. And your best player was better than my best player. You know why? I'm going to give you an example, Ron. Here's why I'm going to give you an example. So the last 47 seconds of that game, we got a three possession game, right? Mm-hmm. We got a 3 possession game. Neesmith runs right down the gun. Who's supposed to be blocking out? Mitchell. He runs right past him and dunks the ball on Mitchell. Okay, sure. They take the basketball out. Mitchell, offensive foul. They get the basketball back. We're on the free throw line. I'm here. You're here. Turner's here. And Allen's there. Who's responsible for the shooter? I'm on the free throw line. Mitchell, I'm responsible for the shooter. That's my job. Yo, I'm blocking out the shooter. Does he block the shooter out? No. Haliburton gets the ball back. Not only does he get the ball back, he is on Sam Merrill, who we all know has not covered. Ty Jerome, I'm sorry. He's on Ty Jerome, who the whole game was having a difficult time with Tyrese Haliburton. And I knew he was going to score as soon as he got the ball. I knew it. I knew he was going to score as soon as he got the ball. I didn't think he was going to hit a 3. I thought he was going to get downhill. But cracks the 3, game over. Now that I think about it, my best player was better than your best player last night.
Thank you. There you go. That's what we needed.
Now that I think about it, I don't even think Tyrese Haliburton was the Indiana Pacers' best player last night. I think it was Aaron Neesmith.
Haters is gonna hate.
I'm not hating. I'm stating.
No, Neesmith was amazing. Neesmith was amazing.
Down the stretch, who got that offensive foul?
Neesmith.
Who got that offensive rebound?
He got the putback as well. I mean,
the putback that also shouldn't have counted. But
everybody played well for them. They had 6 players in double figures and 4 players that had 19 or more points.
Excuse me, Pascal Siakam exists.
He was not good.
Benedict Mathurin was really big.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean the Pacers got a lot of depth, man.
Miles Turner was all right. Hold on, no. There were 2 very notable omissions from the Pacers. Were all good. That is Pascal Siakam, clearly,
he was not.
And Andrew Nembhard was not great last night. He was not good.
Didn't he have like 12 or 13 assists, something like that last night?
He struggled with turnovers quite a lot. I don't know how many he had, but
turnovers, defensive breakdowns, there was a lot. And I think Miles Turner could have been a little bit better, especially when they went to some of those small lineups. So, you know what? Credit to Hali, but this was as much about the Cleveland Cavaliers losing that game in 100% proportion
than it was about. Yeah, the Cavs capitulated.
I mean, you
100%.
100%, Ron.
No, yeah.
Wait. Did they get walked down or did they just give it up?
They capitulated. They
give up 2 offensive rebounds and you give up a turnover in the last minute.
Yeah,
I think
the Pacers get credit for capitalizing on the Cavs capitulation.
Sure.
But the Cavs capitulated. That's what happens. They went to pieces.
Yeah, like
the Pacers executed perfectly out of.
Like I'm tired of changing a narrative about who players are based on wins and losses. Like if Chet Holmgren doesn't miss those free throws, what does that have to do with anything other than Chet Holmgren missing free throws?
Yeah, it makes him
you know what I mean?
Are you insinuating there's a narrative on Haliburton?
Yeah. No, I'm saying
that what you're doing?
I'm saying that I'm not willing to just die because a team craters down the stretch. I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to anoint
because I think that while I do agree that Mathurin, Neesmith, they were great. I think this was also a big time moment from Haliburton hitting that game winner. He's been the 4th best player in isolation in the playoffs. If we're just measuring by points per possession. So I understand Ty Jerome's not a great defender, but Haliburton created that separation for that shot, and he had a ton of buckets in the 4th quarter to get them to that point too. He scored easily. So I also think this was a testament to Haliburton and his clutch gene throughout the playoffs and how great he's been for the Pacers.
Watch it with your eyes. Do you trust it?
Yes, I trust it.
Okay.
You don't trust Haliburton?
I don't think
you trust Haliburton's self-creation down the stretch against a championship level defense.
It depends on the type of switches that he gets. Absolutely, I trust it. That's
Okay.
what the Pacers offense is all about. But I think Haliburton, he's not the best isolation player or self-creator offensively for himself, but I think he elevates the entire team. When he's on the court, they have the second best offense rating in the league. And when he's off it, they have a bottom 10 offensive rating this year. So I trust how he can elevate that offense. And with the Pacers' depth and their supporting cast, I think the Pacers got a real shot to give whoever comes out of the second round in the Knicks and Celtics series a tough fight to get to the NBA Finals. I don't think the Cavaliers, with the injuries they've had, it's unfortunate that they have these amount of injuries, but the Pacers are also an elite level team. And I feel like because of the injuries, people are going to overlook how great they really are, because I thought even the Cavs fully healthy, this is going to be a tough series for them.
So, Joe, with the injuries that the Cavs had, they still had an opportunity to win that game yesterday. They did everything that was necessary for 47 minutes and 15 seconds to win that game yesterday. Max Strus shot the ball really well. Sam Merrill with the fades, he shot the ball really well. Ty Jerome was awful yesterday shooting the basketball. You as a rotation guy, we all know that when you come in the game, your job is a bucket getter. They do really miss Darius Garland. I'm not going to argue that. But I felt like Donovan Mitchell has proven to me up until 45 seconds left in that game, I could get us a game. He was showing me that I could get us a game up until that point. So the injuries, I don't think were that big of a deal more than it was, because Mars, just so we clear, Mars, we got some people in the internet world, capitulating. You might want to give them a synonym for that, because there's some people that might be a little bit much for them. Just a little bit. They fell apart. Let's call it.
I was gonna say go into pieces, but fell apart.
They fell apart, and that's exactly what happened with Cleveland yesterday, Ron. I think Cleveland lost it more than Indiana won it. I think that they just went to pieces. Now, I will say this: it's not a coincidence that this is the third time that Indiana's been in this situation, and they've capitalized on it. That's not a coincidence. I'm not gonna argue that, but I do think that Cleveland fell apart more than Indiana won.
Yeah, if your point is that you think Cavaliers blew it, I agree. Kenny Atkinson just won Coach of the Year yesterday, and they couldn't draw up the right amount of plays to get a good inbound. I thought Max Strus being the inbounder multiple times when he was clearly rattled was a mistake. The first one went on the sideline or on a out of bounds play, like at the end of the court, I felt like Max Strus, they had to call a timeout because he couldn't get it into anybody. And then on the sideline, like giving him the responsibility to make that pass again and throwing it to Ty Jerome and Nembhard just easily stealing it. I thought the Cavaliers collapsed down the stretch. Their rebounding was poor. Their defense was poor. And Indiana is the type of team that if you sleep for half a second, they're going to just score on you. Haliburton was able to score in like 3 seconds with a minute and some change left just because the Cavaliers weren't playing any defense. So I think the Cavaliers did blow it. There's so many different things that they could have done right. And if one of those things go right, if Donovan Mitchell doesn't get an offensive foul, if they do inbound the ball, if they do get a rebound, the Pacers don't win this game.
But Joe, those are the things that go into you collapsing. And not only do they go into you collapsing, these are the fundamental things that we learn as ball players, as kids. So for example, who's taking the ball out? Not Sam Merrill. I want to say Strus is taking the ball out in the fourth quarter. Not on the sideline, but on the baseline after they score. Run the baseline. Not only run the baseline, I'm taught in the 8th grade how to get open. You go right to the man's chest and then you pop, right? You go right to the man's chest and then you pop and then you ask for the basketball. Instead, Sam Merrill which is kind of interesting to me because Sam Merrill is a shooter and he knows how to get open as a shooter. So you would think that he would know how to get open just to get the basketball in an inbound, which I'm also having a difficult time with, Ron, because I don't understand why inbounds plays aren't more prevalent in the NBA, because I see a lot of teams throwing the ball inbounds and throwing the ball away, which is costing them games. These turnovers are a big deal. I just think Cleveland went to pieces down the stretch. I do.
Yeah. The only thing is, Talkox? Bob. Your mic kind of going in and out.
Yeah, your mic went in and out. We had you and then we didn't.
But
I
mean, you good. My thing is, like, we felt it right from the start of the third quarter. And Cleveland, it was going up and down. Cleveland got it up to like 17. But you could sense the Pacers were going to come back. You knew they weren't just gonna.
I didn't
roll
over
over.
with you, Ron. I didn't.
Chill. I'm gonna tell you why. Maybe you felt that way, or maybe somehow subconsciously you're convincing yourself that through like by way of hindsight. But
Or
I'm gonna tell you,
Haliburton.
You doing that swiper thing?
Nah, I don't got those, bro. No,
Right,
sir.
right. Just making
I
sure.
don't got that in my repertoire. But Ron. So the thing is, what I want to point out is that this is just a simple case of a team just writing them off. Like they were at the free throw line, I believe, with like 50 something seconds left in the game. Donovan Mitchell was in the crowd, hyping it up, like, yeah, you know, the game was over. That's why they fell asleep. Neesmith got that tip dunk at the free throw line. That's why he ended up under Neesmith like this, back all broke like this, because he busy, he busy in the crowd. That's why he wasn't expecting Neesmith to get up under him when he catches the ball full court. Because he's asleep. He's in the locker room. He's celebrating already. This is
So he ain't even out here, Ox. So he ain't even out here.
D Mitch went crazy last night. He went berserk. He carried that squad without Mobley, without Garland, without Hunter, and respect to Max Strus and everybody else that did their thing. Jared Allen played great too, but he was having a party. He was done. He was already in the locker room. Haliburton, but the Pacers came and crashed his party. He was in the crowd. Next thing you know, he on the ground on his knees, back twisted, getting dunked on off a free throw tip dunk. Then he's got a pressure. I'm talking about forehead and chest. That's what I'll be talking about. Neesmith came up under him. Oh shit, they're still playing basketball. Boop. Game time.
Yeah, that was a terrible foul. That was a terrible sequence out of Donovan Mitchell.
That's the other fundamental thing we talk about. The triple threat position, ladies and gentlemen. Catch the ball, swing through. Nowhere do they teach me to swing through like this. Nowhere. I've never been taught that. To swing, when I get the ball, to swing through with your elbows like that. No, big men are taught to put the ball under their chin and make space. When I get the ball as a guard, I'm taught to swing through, rip through, not swing through like this. That's an awful offensive foul. Awful.
With your whole body. Your hip and shoulders got to go with you, right?
That's awful.
But chill. So that happens, and then from there, it's just like the Indiana Pacers get a spark right there. They get a spark. The basketball gods blessed them. Then Tyrese Haliburton went up there and made the free throw. Mm-hmm. Boom, put it exactly where it needed to be, and was right where the ball was coming. Got the ball, and it was just from there. I'm watching it like, oh shit, what's happening? That ball left his hand. I know all 6 of y'all knew that shit was going to the bottom of the net.
As soon as he got the ball, as soon as he got the ball, I knew he was going to score. As soon as he got the ball, I knew it.
So are you guys out on the Cavaliers now? You think they're not coming back, or you give them a chance still?
We just saw the last game in Cleveland. We'll see them next season. We ain't coming back to Cleveland.
You think they're getting swept?
Come on, I think this series is over.
I don't agree.
Fuck that talk, Chill.
Over. This series is done.
Hey,
they just
have a little faith. Chill, have a little faith in the cage.
Let Chill have new information.
Chill can think what he thinks. He thinks they're getting swept. I don't agree, but I don't know what the health situation. I don't know what the health situation of anyone is. Like, I think that's a big deal. We can ignore it and like be like, oh yeah, it doesn't really matter.
So to your point,
I think it matters. I think it matters.
So to your point, Mars, Mobley's got the ankle injury. I don't know how serious it is, but Mobley's got the ankle injury. As you know, Darius Garland, he's got the toe injury, which is in football like turf toe. It's incredibly painful. Ridiculously painful what he has. I don't know what's going on with DeAndre Hunter, to be honest.
He has a thumb injury.
Okay, so I think that's on his shooting hand, if I'm not mistaken. I do.
Oh, yeah. Is it broke?
No, it's not. So with that being said, Mars, so I just want to give you that information. I want you to keep going.
Ox, the thumb is an important part of your body.
I don't want to hear that shit, bro. This is
if
I've spent the whole season. Now, mind you, I wasn't playing in the NBA, so you know what I'm saying. That's the difference. I've spent the whole season. You know what they do? I ain't gonna show y'all my feet. You know what I'm saying? But like, okay, so imagine this is my foot. They got to do is they tape it around at the bottom of the heel, tape your toe in it. What it does is pulls the toe out and keeps it straight.
Right.
Oh yeah.
This is the playoffs.
Yeah,
this is the playoffs.
But his thumb hurts.
It's incredibly
painful. Well, no, I'm talking about the turf toe. I'm talking about the turf toe.
Yeah. I know what the toughest thing with Garland though is like
I don't know about
he got that injury, but as a smaller guard, he's gonna get hunted on defense relentlessly. and he needs his speed and quickness to make those sudden movements like shifts and stops. I just feel like with that injury, that's why I was concerned about the Cavaliers once I heard that report, because it seems like the Cavaliers are very concerned about that Garland injury. I think that the Pacers have a major advantage now, obviously taking 2 in Cleveland. I think they probably will win the series. I don't know about getting swept though, OG, because the way that Donovan Mitchell played, I think you get a better Todd Jerome performance in game 3, albeit he was terrible in game 2. It really can't be worse.
Yeah, it can. 0 for 15.
It can, maybe. But I think the Cavaliers aren't going to go down just yet. I mean, they were so great in the regular season that I just feel like the worst string of events had to happen for them because they played everything right. They didn't play their players that many minutes in the regular season. Donovan Mitchell played like 30 to 31 minutes per game. The starting lineup was amongst the least amount of minutes in terms of all the starters in the league. Like they did everything right to be healthy for this moment, and they collapsed and they just fell apart with injuries.
So the game that you got out of Donovan Mitchell yesterday, I'm confident that I'm not going to see anything like that. I'm going to see some good games out of Donovan Mitchell. I doubt I'm going to get 48 to 50 again. I doubt
you could see like 35 though. I could see that.
I can see.
He makes some threes. He can dominate, break the record. The way
what was he? I think he was 1 for 7 yesterday at the long ball.
He can't make a 3.
If Darius Garland's not there, Donovan Mitchell can absolutely go for 40 again.
Who's stopping him, Chill? Like there's nothing on the interior for the Pacers that's stopping him. Obi Toppin, no chance. Pascal Siakam,
but the difference
might as well not be there.
The difference with not just Donovan Mitchell or Obi Toppin, I mean the difference is that they didn't do as good enough job stopping them neither. I mean, don't forget the Cavs was up 20 yesterday. It wasn't like that. This was a nip and tuck game the entire game. They were up 20. Miles Turner at the long ball line, getting them back in the game. Obi Toppin knocking down timely threes, them getting timely stops. I can't solely rely on Donovan Mitchell throughout the course of this series. I think they smoked them in game 3. I do. I think Indiana smokes them in game 3. I don't think they beat them. I think they destroyed them in game 3.
So they just showed yesterday, to your point, they were up 20. They just showed yesterday that they can get up on this team. So
yes, you know what that's also a case of too, though. At home. The same thing you said with the last 50 minutes or 50 seconds when Donovan Mitchell was in the crowd and they were celebrating and stuff. Yeah. The Pacers looking like they walking into the game laughing, giggling, kiki and ha-ha.
Why would they be doing that?
Darius Garland's not playing tonight. Evan Mobley's not playing tonight.
Right.
DeAndre Hunter's not playing tonight. They like, man, this is about to be a cakewalk. We just beat y'all in game 1. Now Evan Mobley and DeAndre Hunter's not there. They like,
but Ron, are you saying that because of something you've seen before the game, or like in the locker room or something? Or are you just assuming by the way they came out? Because I want to give Rick Carlisle. I want to give Rick Carlisle more respect than that. A coach that's been in the game for decades. I want to give him more respect in allowing his team to be lollygagging and thinking that type of thought process.
We just saw it.
They did do that, Ox.
I'm saying what? No, why? Because y'all think they came out flat. That doesn't mean that they were playing them cheap. That doesn't mean they were playing them cheap. That means that they came out. That means they came out missing shots or making bad passes or whatever.
Balls. They got beat to rebounds. They were slow with the basketball.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and you can make that correlation if you want to. But that's all speculation. And I just want to put that out there. That's all speculation. You can't say just because they were getting beat to lose balls, maybe they're just faster than them.
They weren't faster than them. They weren't faster than them in game 1. No, they weren't faster than them. Not only were they not faster than them in game 1, Ox, there's a mentality in the playoffs. Not just in the playoffs, but there's a mentality when you know that the other team is down bad. So you're missing three of your crucial players. You're missing your starting lead guard, you're missing your best defensive player, and your best rotation player. They thought that they were going to walk into Cleveland yesterday and just smoke those dudes. And then they realized that they had a fight on their hands. And it didn't happen until later on in the game. They 100% came out flat. And I
just feel like people got more respect for Donovan Mitchell than that. Like, I just think people got a little more respect for Donovan Mitchell than that.
You make it like that happens though.
They just came out on them, bro. Like, and this ain't that big a deal because I can't prove it or not. I just want to point that out there. Like, I just don't want to assume. I want to give Rick Carlisle a little more respect than that.
And also too, like to your point, Max Strus came out going crazy. Yes, I don't think nobody predicted that. Dean Wade was playing good.
Damn.
All of these guys was hooping. Like you mentioned, Jared Allen, Ty Jerome didn't really show up, but Sam Merrill showed up. Like these guys was hooping. Donovan Mitchell was out of his mind. So like they like you know the Mike Tyson quote. The Cavs came out and punched him in the mouth.
Mm-hmm. And I also think too that when you don't have, and I hope I don't sound like I'm repeating myself, but when you don't have three of your best players, the other guys know that I'm not looking over my shoulder now. So Max Strus knows that he's got to play. No matter what he does in terms of mistakes or missed shots, he's got to be on the floor, right? Sam Merrill knows that he's going to be on the floor tonight. So I think there's a level of confidence that he has, knowing that I'm only going to be out here for 20 minutes tonight because we got other rotation guys. No, these guys aren't here. So because these guys aren't here, I'm way more prepared to play tonight, and I'm ready to get it on because I know that I'm going to get more shots. I know I'm going to be on the floor longer. I know I'm going to have the ball in my hands. I know I'm going to be able to make more plays tonight just off the strength of me being out here. So I think there's a level of confidence that these other guys have. And I can't leave out the fact, Ox, that we're at home. So the energy is different. It's different being on the road where you got that crowd, where the crowd isn't behind you and you're listening to a whole bunch of other stuff. But when you're at home and I know I'm going to be on the floor, I know I'm going to get more shots, I know I'm going to be involved in more plays, I think there's a level of confidence that those other guys had last night that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
I think this goose was cooked like 6 minutes ago when Ox said what he said. Now we're just overcooking it. What happened was one team kept playing. That's it. That's all it was.
It really is.
One team stopped playing. The other team decided, I'm going to keep playing. And, it came down to one player specifically on that team, Aaron Nesmith, having that sort of belief of we can close this gap. We can close 7 points in 1 minute. And you know what? Credit to them. They had to take it. But the Cavaliers had to assist them. And so I don't know what the Cavaliers do going now into Indiana down 0-2, knowing they fought so hard all season. All season, they dominated the East. All season, they fought for those wins. And just like that, you're 0-2. You haven't just lost home court. You now 2 in the hole, right? So
you got to go to Indiana and win twice, by the way, to get that home floor advantage back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to win twice. So the version of the Cavaliers I see in the quarter one of game 3 is going to tell me everything I need to know about who this team is. Healthy, not healthy, doesn't matter. You got to fight, you got to claw, and you got to respect your opponent, right? Now, it's funny how sometimes these stories that we hear as children really, really come back tortoise in the hair. You remember it?
Yep.
Man, I remember that every single day when I see a team blow a lead like this. The other thing I would say is appropriate fear. Greg Popovich used to talk about this all the time with the Spurs.
I love that.
You do not need to be afraid of your opponent, but you must have an appropriate level of fear for your opponent, which means when you look up at the clock and it's 1 minute left and you're up 7, you must have the appropriate fear that if we completely cook ourselves here, if we throw the ball over and give up offensive rebounds, we can still lose this game. It's too much confidence.
Also, think about who they have, right? Think about who Indiana has. I love Aaron Nesmith. Okay, so who is Aaron Nesmith? He's an undrafted guy. And
I think he was a top 15 pick.
Was he?
Yeah, by the Celtics. He got drafted.
I know he was with the Celtics. I don't remember him getting drafted, but I do remember him sitting on the bench with the Celtics. I apologize. My fault.
He was on the bench with the Celtics.
Yeah, I do remember him sitting. And it wasn't because he couldn't play. It was because the Celtics were loaded. That was the problem.
He came out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he came out of Vanderbilt, right?
And he was a lottery
pick.
100% flew under the radar.
An interesting fact is that the Celtics in that draft, they drafted Nesmith and they drafted Desmond Bane in the first round, but they traded Desmond Bane to the Grizzlies, and Nesmith just never played.
Yes,
for them, and he played poorly when he was on the court.
Right, they were loaded. So if you look at who Nesmith is as a player, Nesmith is not going to stop playing until the buzzer, no matter what it is. He's not. So when you got guys like Nesmith, like Nembhard, you have to end them. If you don't, you're going to get the result that you had. I didn't even, to be honest with you, Ox, when you said that, I didn't think about that Donovan Mitchell really thought that the game was over with 47 seconds instead of ending it.
Yeah. He was interacting with the crowd, Chill.
Instead of ending it, he's out there, getting the crowd hyped, not realizing that, we still got a ball game going on. This game is not over. This game is not over. No, it isn't. And we've seen them come back from leads like this.
Are the Cavaliers walking into Indiana as the better team? Are they the better team? Or you still feel they're the better team?
Not right now.
Yeah,
not right now.
I think they're the better team. Yeah.
From a talent standpoint, Mars,
I think they're the better basketball team.
Without the three people that they're missing, though, are they still the better team? All that depth.
Okay, everyone hurt. I think they're close to equal. I'll probably give Indiana the edge.
Wow. Okay.
Because
so that's the gap between these two teams. The gap between these two teams is two.
Yeah, I think the Cavs are a lot better team. I also think they lost last night, but last night they were the better team. They just folded in the last minute of the game. They showed they could beat this team. They were comfortably winning the game, and it took capitulation for them to lose. Yeah. And once again, you give Indiana credit for capitalizing on a team throwing it away, but I don't subscribe to the idea that now the Cavs have no chance of beating this team in one game.
While I agree with you that the Cavs
game 3 is it does depend on how the Cavs are built mentally. Are they mentally strong enough to not go to pieces because they're down 2-0? If they aren't, then this series will be over quickly. If they are mentally tough and they are willing to fight through that adversity, yes, I think this is still a series. I think the Cavs can win game 3. Now the issue is they can't even afford a split because they split, they're down 3-1. They have to win both in Indiana, and I think they know that. But I also think they're capable of doing that. Like, I don't think the series is over. I think last night they showed they are capable of beating this team if they play a full 48-minute game. Right. It's just they didn't play a full 48-minute game. They wanted to play for 47 minutes. And unfortunately, when you're down, you can't play for 47 minutes. You have to play for 50 minutes, really, to give yourself that 2 minutes of leeway. So, like, they just didn't give you enough of what they are capable of doing. But I think
I also feel like it's fair to say that the Pacers really didn't play their best game yesterday either. It's
very rare that a team plays their best game in the playoffs. It's very rare.
I don't think they got to win the game. I think Haliburton can be so much better. I think Siakam can be so much better.
Absolutely.
I think Turner and Neesmith, I think all of them can be better. So the thing is that based on what you've seen, not just yesterday, but also in game 1, right? It's like we've seen two games now. And I think it'd be fair to say the Pacers have kind of won 5 of those quarters and 2 of those games.
I don't know the scores in the quarters, but yeah, they've won 2 of both games. Yeah,
Moss, outside of SGA doing what he did in game 1, how much better can Oklahoma City play than they played in game 1 against Memphis? Because they were awesome.
In game 1 against Memphis,
they were awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how much better they could have played. I'd have to rewatch the game and you just
because
nitpicking. But Shea would be the obvious one. Shea could have been
right,
but they won by 7.
Because I heard what you said when you said it's very rare, which means that teams do play their best games.
Yeah, some teams do play.
It's just rare, right? It is just rare, but it goes back to what we were talking about with playing better and being a better player. Well, I think that same logic holds with playing better and being a better team. I think Indiana's playing better right now than the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they do have a better unit, but as a unit, Indiana is playing better.
So
I think the Pacers played better in game 1. I think
you guys think the series is over.
No, not all of it. I think it is. Mars doesn't think the series is over. I don't think it's over.
I don't think
Chill's the only one who thinks it's over.
I don't think we coming back.
Ron, but he's the host. He doesn't count. He's the host.
I feel like the Cavaliers haven't had a good 3-point shooting game yet. In game 1, they were terrible, and in game 2, they shot 28% from 3. I think if Mitchell starts hitting some of those threes, he's still getting downhill like he can. I think the Cavaliers, it's not an anomaly for a team to win 2 road games after being down 0-2. I feel like
Denver just did it last year.
Yeah, and we saw it with the Clippers down 0-2 against Dallas when Luka torched them and went up 2 games to 0. So I don't feel like it's out of the realm of possibility. And I do think the Cavaliers look like the much better team. I think the Pacers had a really slow start in the first quarter where they were just awful. They shot 12% from 3. But in the fourth quarter, the Cavaliers shot 28% from the field, and they had 5 turnovers.
Sure.
So, the Pacers outplayed them when it mattered the most, and I felt like that's where they made their comeback. And even with the Cavs being up 7, they had to have a lot of mental lapses in order for the Pacers to end up winning that game. So I can't rule out the Cavaliers just yet. And I do think if they get more reinforcements back, Mobley, Hunter, maybe Garland plays, that increases their chances as well. I'm still kind of holding out some hope that at least one of those 3 or 2 of those 3 are going to play in game 3.
Now, Joe, the thing that I'm concerned with, to your point, is how they're losing. Like it'd be one thing if they were losing and Indiana was just handling them, or it'd be one thing if they were losing if Cleveland was up and Cleveland was just handling them. The way that they're closing games out, that's my biggest issue right now with Cleveland. That they're not playing the full 48 minutes. Well, now we're going on the road. We're going to be in a hostile environment. It's going to be, I think the whistle's going to be different in Indiana than it was in Cleveland. I don't know why that is. It's always been like that in the playoffs. The whistle's going to be a lot different. I think rotation players are going to play a lot different in Indiana than they played in Cleveland. So with that being said, can Cleveland hold on? And Indiana's logic playing against Cleveland is we know that even if they do throw us in the hole, all we got to do is keep playing. They're going to let us back in. And once they let us back in, now we have a nip and tuck game. All we have to do is keep doing what we're doing. So that's the biggest issue that I have with Cleveland right now.
Yeah, if Darius Garland, I'm assuming Evan Mobley will be back, but if Darius Garland and Evan Mobley aren't there, I think it's fair to say that it's an uphill, like a uphill battle for the Cavs.
It's uphill even with them playing.
So that's what I'm saying. Until I get confirmation that they're coming back, I really got the Pacers in 5. And even with them coming back, Pacers in 6.
That sounds fair. No, Ron, I just don't know if I can handle another Eastern Conference Finals appearance from the Pacers. Just really
you gonna handle it, and so is Jayson Tatum. Or I mean,
another.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jayson Tatum ain't even gonna be there.
My bad. Taylor Brunson, right, Joel?
I wish I could have that much optimism. Game 1 gave me a lot of optimism, but I don't know just yet. I feel like the Celtics missed a historic amount of threes, dude, and we barely won. But I don't think the Knicks played their best game either. And I think we could have gotten a better game from Cat and Mikal Bridges, even though Mikal was awesome defensively. But I will tell you something, because I heard, OG, that you think Jayson Tatum is the best player in the world.
Yeah, I do think that.
I think that over the past 3 years, Jalen Brunson has been just as impactful in the playoffs as Jayson Tatum. And over the last 2 years, you can argue Jalen Brunson's numbers are better, and especially in the fourth quarter.
From a shooting standpoint. Yeah, from a shooting standpoint.
No. In the fourth quarter, I'm looking at Jayson Tatum's overall numbers. I mean, do you value how clutch a player is? That's number one. That's I think the first question I got to ask you.
Definitely care about that. And not just from a bucket standpoint. I want to make sure that we clear, because when people hear clutch, immediately they think buckets. No, and I don't think clutch is just buckets. I think clutch is coming up with a big steal, passing the basketball, coming up with a big rebound, getting a big stop on defense, stuff like that. I think that kind of stuff is clutch. Clutch isn't just buckets.
Defense. This argument is cooked.
Jayson Tatum in the playoffs this year, shooting 32% from the field in the fourth quarter, 20% from 3. Last year in the playoffs, he shot 37% from the field in the fourth quarter and 19% from 3. Over the last 2 years, the playoffs,
Jayson Tatum.
That's what he did in the whole 4 quarters.
Yes, in last year's playoffs and this year's
playoffs. 1 for 9 on Monday night, Mars. 1 for 9 in the fourth
There's no way. Like
I thought that was like clutch minutes.
Jayson Tatum, 19% from 3 last year in the playoffs.
That's 1 for 9.
OG, I can't subscribe to the logic at all that he's the best player in the world, because you'd have to have him over Giannis, over SGA, over Jokic. And I don't give a damn that Luka lost in the first round. Luka is still better than Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum just has the luxury of having a better team around him that can mask his weaknesses. But Luka is better than Tatum.
And Luka doesn't.
What are Jayson Tatum's weaknesses in your opinion?
Inefficiency, shot selection,
and fourth quarter play.
I agree with the shot selection.
Sounds like it's primarily buckets. That's what it sounds like when it comes to Jayson Tatum.
Well, I mean, I think you've said shot selection is a weakness from him.
I've said that.
I think everyone agrees with that. No, I don't think he's
100%.
I think Luka's stock right now is at the lowest it's been, and I think it's a bit unfair because he got blindsided with the midseason trade to a team that wasn't a real contender, that had obvious roster flaws. After he had been carrying the Mavericks franchise for years of his career, he finally gets a roster that could support him. I think if Luka was still in Dallas and Kyrie didn't get hurt, I think the Mavericks roster could have been good enough to get to the finals once again. And he was ripped away from that situation. So for me, I feel like Luka, he has to start all over with the Lakers, because with an aging LeBron and the pieces they have, it feels like everything's in flux. Tatum has a stable situation, and he's part of what makes it stable. But when I look at Luka all time, he's second in playoff points per game. A bad series for him is averaging 30 on 61% true shooting.
Right.
And they lost because they didn't have the viable role players. And he also didn't play well in the fourth. But Tatum not playing well in the fourth has been a thing for the last 2 playoffs. It just doesn't matter because the Celtics are so much of a better team, especially last year. Yep. The teams they played last year heading to the finals, it was pretty much a cakewalk to get to the finals.
Now, Joe, can I use the same logic that you just used about the team being built around Jayson Tatum to mask his inefficiency? Well, the same thing goes on. That's why they got Najee Marshall. That's why they got the rim protection that they got. All of that stuff. Meanwhile, Luka is still Olay. He's still extremely inefficient as a defender. He's extremely inefficient and killing them. In fact, one of the main reasons why they're losing games off the strength of Luka's inefficiency defensively. So the idea that because Jayson Tatum is running with a band of characters who are able to make up for him offensively, even though offensively he's still really good as a bucket getter, they do the same thing in Dallas with Luka, put the same kind of guys around him to protect him as a defender, yet it still doesn't work. He's still who he is defensively.
Shot making is worth more.
Is I think Luka has only had that good supporting cast for 1 year of his career. That was last year, and he made the finals. When he made the conference finals, right? Dwight Powell, Dorian Finney-Smith,
in the Celtics, by the way,
and Reggie Bullock were in the starting lineup. Jalen Brunson played great in that run, but he wasn't Jalen Brunson just yet. We didn't know he was this good just yet.
Sure.
He was still a very good starter, but not an all-star level player just yet. He didn't turn into that. Luka finally had a good roster built around him. And I feel like we use these moments to Luka's defense and we knock him. And I feel like it is a valid knock. And you do have to build a roster a specific kind of way around him. It's much like Dirk. Dirk was an offensive-oriented superstar. They won a championship because they had Sean Marion and Tyson Chandler and Jason Kidd and Deshaun Stevenson around him. If you have an offensive-oriented superstar, you have to build good defenders around him. You have to acquire that.
Yeah.
But in the finals, although Luka's lowlights on defense were bad, the Celtics were held to their lowest offensive rating in the finals amongst any team they played in the playoffs that year. Sure. In Dallas's offense, they shot 17% on wide open threes. While the defense, there were moments where Luka looked terrible, and he was overall terrible. I thought Dallas's offense was as big, if not a bigger problem in that series, and that's why they went out and they got Klay Thompson. So I don't think their defense has been the main reason for them losing the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like for the most part, it's been not having another offensive player next to Luka. And then Kyrie also really struggled in the finals. He didn't show up outside of one game. He didn't show up at all in the finals. So I look at offense and having that secondary creator next to Luka being more of a problem than the defense was.
Well, their defense was the problem, and that defense was Luka. That was the biggest problem with them. I mean,
the offense was also a problem.
And the reason why their offense was
a bigger one.
Even though
because of Jalen Brown, offensive juggernaut. So if the offense is a problem and he's a liability on defense.
But if
the offense was a problem because of Jalen Brown.
If you're getting blitzed and you have to pass it to Derrick Jones Jr., who they're leaving wide open, and Josh Green wide open, and they're not hitting their shots, there's nothing you could do.
So Penn, to your point, when you
Luka didn't get blitzed that much in the finals.
It was a lot of one-on-one coverage. In fact, it was Jaylen Brown who made it clear that he wanted to stay in the game and wanted to deal with Luka one-on-one. He made that clear, and I thought he did a really good job on Luka. But to your point, if I can't make shots, which Jayson Tatum wasn't able to make shots consistently throughout the course of that series. He wasn't able to make shots, but he was able to be really good on defense. He was able to contribute in a lot of different ways. Meanwhile, Luka, who was able to make shots, but now, like I said,
he wasn't efficient from three in that series.
So Luka was able to make shots. He wasn't able to make shots consistently like Jayson Tatum, and on top of that, he was a liability on defense, which cost them plenty of games. Which is why they weren't in games like they should have been, because Luka, being this offensive juggernaut and scorer that he was, when we get late in games, not even late in games, when we get into the meat and potatoes of games, Luka not just disappears, but on defense, he's giving me nothing. So it wasn't like Jayson Tatum, as bad as he was shooting, he didn't score at all. There was plenty of times where he gave up. The closeout game is a prime example. He went 30-10 in that game.
My counter to that, OG, is I think that Tatum is probably the only superstar that has the luxury of averaging 21 points per game on bad efficiency in the finals and his team still being able to win in 5 games. I don't think that any superstar can play that way and score that from his season average, dropping 6 to 7 points from his season average, and his team just smoking the other team. It's because of the amount of help that he had.
I think Shea could do it.
Well, I mean, based on his supporting cast and how J-Dub and Chet, they've looked in the second round of the playoffs, even dating back to last year, I wouldn't even be super confident in that because SGA he outplayed Luka last year in the playoffs, and the Mavericks won because PJ Washington was amazing. So I wouldn't even say
Luka played better than Jayson Tatum in that series?
I think you could debate that.
No, I'm asking, would you debate?
I don't.
Do you think was Luka better? Was Luka better?
Did Luka play better than Jayson Tatum in the finals?
I don't think he did.
I think they were about equal.
No.
I think they were about equal. I think Tatum was really inefficient, and I thought he had a lot of help around him. I mean, game one, their spark was led by Kristaps Porzingis. What I'm saying is that I think if Luka averages 31 in a playoff series, the Mavericks would get smoked. 21. When did he average 21? He averages 30 in the playoffs. He's second all time in playoff points per game.
I mean, Luka has the ball the whole game. So if he has the ball the whole game and only scores 21, yeah, that's probably more problematic than Jayson Tatum.
But Tatum has the ball a lot too.
But
Luka has the ball. Yeah. I'm not excusing Jayson Tatum scoring. He scored poorly.
I understand your point. Yeah, Luka has the ball. It's just Tatum had more shot attempts in the finals than Luka, if I'm not mistaken.
He might have, but I'm sure
he averaged 21.
I'm sure a lot of that might be because
actually 22.
Luka averaged 20.
I'm sure 29. Some of that might be because Luka was getting free throws, so like they don't count as field goals.
Luka averaged 29, 9, and nearly 6 with 2.6 steals.
And if you look at the stat sheet,
that's nuts.
It looks like it looks nuts. But if you like dug into the game,
I know that this year has soured me.
Luka shot 125 shots and Jayson Tatum shot 98.
Okay, then I was wrong there. But I think overall, Tatum, how many shots did he shoot in the playoffs overall?
Oh my God.
My whole point is that Tatum is not scoring because he's not. Shots. I don't think Tatum is not scoring well because he's not taking enough shots. I think the volume of shots that he's taking is on par with other stars. It's just that baskets are not going in. I think that's my whole point. I know that this year has soured people on Luka, and I know that a lot of people are going to have Tatum over Luka. I'm fine with that, but there really is no logic for Tatum being over Giannis or Jokic, OG.
Or SGA.
Well, you know what? Jalen Brunson, Jayson Tatum, Luka Doncic, you know what they all have in common? None of them are the best players in the world. None of them are top 3 players.
I think best player in the world conversation is kind of tiring at this point.
Jokic, Shea, Giannis.
That's fairly comfortable just saying Jokic is the best player in the world. But I think Jayson Tatum is like, depending on how I feel about ranking unhealthy players, he's at top 6.
So it would be your top 5.
We know how he feels about Joel.
I don't know. If I count Joel Embiid, then he's top 5. But if I don't, then Jayson Tatum's top 5. So
interesting.
And in 2025.
Yeah, it just depends how I feel on the day. If I feel like bringing him up, then I'll bring him up. Otherwise, I'm gonna just leave him out of it. But healthy Embiid is top 5.
Shout out to Joel Embiid, man. Good memories. Good memories. But
you're gonna be back next year, Philly and 6.
In Utah.
If you're watching right now, make sure you like the video. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you become a member, specifically a Hall of Famer. And once again, like the video. Oh, and one more thing that you should probably do. Download the PrizePick apps. Like all of these guys up here, we use the PrizePick app daily, and we have a good time on the PrizePick app. Why? Because when we use promo code PANEL, we get $50 instantly when we play just $5. And that allows us to, use our basketball knowledge to get a little change in our pockets. You know, we got bills to pay, but PrizePicks, it just makes life so much easier. Right, Big Ox? Right. And this is basically what we're doing today on PrizePicks. We have a 5-pick power play. $10 will turn into $270 when this happens, Ox, you want to explain what you got going on here?
Excuse me.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, we got Cat starting out hot tonight, getting 4.5 PRA in the first 5 minutes of the game. We went more. OG Anunoby, PRA 23.5. Of course, we went more. OG always comes through. Al Horford, 6.5 points. Of course, we took the more on the first ballot Hall of Famer, Al Horford. Drew Holiday, we got the demon pick, 11.5 points. And Cameron Payne, another demon pick, 2.5 points. Of course, we took the more on that as well.
Campaign hit a 3. I like that, Ox. But I'm noticing something here.
What's that?
And once again, download the PrizePicks app and use promo code panel. But I'm noticing something on that, Ox. You didn't take the Jalen Brunson more.
Why would I?
What do you mean? Why would you?
He did say he was going to take the Jayson Tatum more, though. He did say that.
Bounce back game for Tatum, huh? Game 2. It's a prime spot.
Well, I mean, while we're here, can I get predictions on what you guys think is going to happen tonight?
Celtics win.
Yeah, Boston going to get game 2. Then the Knicks going to hold server and Madison Square Garden. Go up 3-1.
Although, does this curse of being the road team, does this sway you at all? Road teams are 5-0. 5-0.
At some point, it's going to stop.
This has never happened before.
Well, it's the Knicks are 4-0 in their last 4 road playoff games. They're 4 and they haven't lost yet. So
we're just not that good at home, but we're much better on the road.
They're 4-0. I think that the Celtics are going to make a conscious effort because they've heard the chatter about them shooting the long ball. They're going to make a conscious effort to get to the rim early in this game.
You think so?
I do.
I think they say fuck.
They're going to double down. Yeah, they're going to quadruple down.
No. That's not to say that they're going to go away from the long ball because there's a reason why they are where they are because they shoot the long ball. But I do think that they're going to go to the rim to open up the long ball a little bit more because remember who they have at the rim. You got Cat as their rim protector. And I don't think that they took advantage of that. So with that, I think that they're going to make a conscious effort to get to the rim early. But then once they do that, I think that it's going to be bombs away after that.
Nah, Joe Mazzulla is a troll. They're gonna come out and take half-court shots.
They might shoot 100 threes tonight, yeah.
I have the Celtics bouncing back. I think they win game 2. It's a must-win after losing game 1. I do think they are more aggressive going downhill, though. They went 3 for 19 in fourth quarter in overtime, and at least 13 or 14 of those were contested three-point shots that they took. And they took a lot of three-point shots early in the shot clock as well with maybe 11 seconds or more left on the shot clock. I thought Jayson Tatum settled a lot, and Jaylen Brown. He looked the most concerning offensively, just his process throughout the game. But I think some of these shots do start falling for Boston. I don't think they're going to miss a historic amount of threes again, but they're also going to be much more aggressive, I think, to just get some of these wing defenders into foul trouble, maybe get McHale into foul trouble. I thought in the fourth quarter, whenever Boston made it a point of emphasis to drive to the basket, it either resulted in a bucket or it resulted in a foul. And I think they just have to lean into that more. Shooting threes is fine. That's what they do, but not when you're settling for the amount that they settled on when they're heavily contested. I feel like that is the wrong way to approach things.
Does what happened to Cleveland yesterday wake up maybe OKC and Boston today and just say, it ain't happening to us? We're not going down 0-2.
It should. It 100% should, because if the Celtics go down 0-2, it's just like I said with Cleveland, we might not be coming back to Boston. This series could be over.
Nah, there's a bigger margin here.
We may not be coming back to Boston. This series might be over.
Everything's over.
I don't think it's possible for Boston to get swept.
What did Rudy Tomjanovich say? Don't underestimate the heart of a champion. I don't care if Boston goes down 0-2.
You're being awfully pessimistic today.
Well, here's the thing I'm thinking about.
Not sure. I like this. Let's keep
seeing new information.
This is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about what you've worked for all season long. And I'm thinking about when you get the home floor, you have to protect that home floor. And when you lose game 1, there's concern.
Mm-hmm.
Once you lose game 1, there's concern.
Isn't game 1 the best game to lose?
Well, game 1 is the tone. I feel like game 1's the tone setter. Like game 1 is the game where we can find out, what kind of series this could possibly be. When you lose game 1, or if you win game 1, whatever the team is, there's concern. When you lose game 2 at home, there's the doubt because now, in order for us to win this series, we got to win 4 of the next 6 games.
Chill. You said new information. Let me give you some new information. You know the Celtics are a better road team than they are a home team?
I do know that. Yes, I do know that.
So it's not new information. It's old information, which tells me it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but here's the difference with that, though. And the difference with that is the Celtics have dominated the Knicks all season long. But now we're in a space where if the Knicks do what I'm not going to say that the Celtics are going to shoot the ball as bad as they did in game 1. But if the Knicks fight the way that they did, if the Knicks continue to play in transition the way that they did, if Al Horford is consistently switched on to Jalen Brunson, which I don't like. I don't like that. As much as I don't like Jayson, as much as I don't like Mikal Bridges on Jayson Tatum, I don't like Al Horford on Jalen Brunson. If that's still going on.
I didn't see Al out there moving his feet.
He is moving his feet. That doesn't make a difference when you still got Jalen Brunson as shifty as he is, and he's wearing on him, Ox. Because now I got other responsibilities. In addition to having to deal with Jalen Brunson and switches, I got other responsibilities. Like I got to guard Cat. I got to rebound. I got to play defense in the post. This is not a part of my job, having to deal with Jalen Brunson. I should not have to do that, but I do. And there are instances where he thrives at it. The point that I'm making is to get the production that you got from OG Anunoby, to have Mikal Bridges play down the stretch that he played. If I could get more of that from him, that stuff that we saw previously could go out the window. And then you could take that energy to New York because New York is going to be a zoo if they end up winning game 2. New York, the Madison Square Garden is going to be a madhouse. So they have to. So the point that I'm making when I say that you lose game 1, there's the doubt. There's the concern. When you lose game 2, like what's going on with Cleveland, there's the doubt now. Can we win this series? Can we? And the confidence level from the other team now goes through the roof.
Yeah, but confidence is built over like evidence of who you are, right? There are certain teams where there was a huge differential throughout the year of they're a really good home team, they're really bad on the road. And these teams went out and they lost all those games on the road. So they know that about themselves. They know their role players don't show up on the road. They might be a super young roster. An example is the Clippers. The Clippers were way worse on the road. So maybe that does sort of tilt their perspective on who they are on the road.
What's more likely, OG? The Knicks win this series or the Celtics end up winning the next 4 games?
What's more likely is the Knicks don't win another game in the series. That's more likely. Damn. Yes. I think it's more likely. I think that the Knicks don't win another game in the series.
Because I feel like sometimes game 1, like what Ox said, sometimes that's the best game to lose. I remember back in the 2020 bubble when the Rockets beat the Lakers in the second round and they smoked them. Harden was amazing. Russ Westbrook was amazing. And then after that, the Lakers proceeded to dominate them in every game and outclass them completely because they were just a better team.
They did that to everybody.
Portland,
they lose game 1 to Portland, smoked them in 5. They lose game 1 to Houston, smoked them in 5. They lose game 1 to Denver, smoked them in 5. So, I mean, it's not ridiculous to think that the Knicks could the Celtics can win the rest of these games. It's not ridiculous to think that.
If you're a Celtics fan, you got to understand that your team missed a historical amount of threes, and it went into overtime. Like they had one of the worst possible games ever. And I know there's some schematic things that the Knicks did, but really it's nothing that they can't stop Boston's offense. That's what I'm insinuating. And if the Celtics just truly are aggressive and they're not playing boneheaded basketball, I think it is likely they could just win the next 4. Like,
well, Joe,
I wouldn't rule that out.
That game should have been over because Brunson smoked the layup. We know that the game game could have very well been over in
good contest by Al Horford.
Yeah, it was. But the game should have been over in regulation. But if you think about the Celtics offense with their screening, with their ability to speed, there's a difference between playing fast and playing with pace. And the Celtics play with a really good pace. That's how they're able to get and they move the basketball as well as they do. That's how they're able to get the shots that they get. I think that if I'm not mistaken, they missed 30% of they open shots. I mean, that's a big deal when you're missing 1 out of every 3 shots wide open. That's a huge deal when you're doing that. I don't think that that's going to happen again. And I think that Jayson Tatum is going to be more conscious tonight about getting to the rim than he was in game 1. And I think that's going to be a big deal for them in this game.
I have both favorites. Oh, sorry, Ron, but I have both favorites winning game 2, OKC and Boston. But I am a little bit more worried about Denver than I am Boston. I think Boston is going to be fine. Well, I'm worried about OKC, than I am Boston. I just think because Denver has Jokic, they have the rebounding advantage, they have the size advantage. OKC doesn't have an answer for Jokic, and I think the experience does play a factor into it. We saw last year Chet and J-Dub didn't play well in the second round. J-Dub starts game 1, 5 for 20. Chet misses both free throws at the free throw line, and Mark Daigneault opts to foul when they're up 3 instead of just trusting number 1 defense in the league to play straight up and let them get a shot. And Jokic wasn't on the floor at that point. Like, I think OKC, SGA is clearly one of the best players in the world, but the two co-stars, I don't know what I'm getting from them on a consistent basis offensively. We know how great their defense is, but J-Dub and Chet, what they provide offensively on a consistent basis, I feel like it's a huge question mark right now.
Sure. Joe, can I say the same thing about, Jayson Tatum has dominated the Knicks this season. Like you talked about, Jayson Tatum has not only has he dominated the Knicks this season, they've dominated the Knicks this season throughout the course of the whole year. So, as much as you are concerned with Oklahoma City, as much as you are concerned with Oklahoma City, the fact that the Knicks shot the way that they did and they were able to get back in the game, I could say the same thing for the Knicks, because as much as Jayson Tatum dominated, as much as Jayson Tatum, and not just Jayson Tatum, the Celtics dominated them, we saw what could happen. And when you're a team that shoots the long ball the way that they do, as with the amount of long ball shots that they shoot, we've seen them, like last year in the NBA Finals, not be able to shoot the long ball that well. So is it ridiculous to think that could continue? Not at the rate we saw in game 1, but is it ridiculous to think that it could continue where they could shoot bad?
No, it can't, but I think there's other things that Boston can do well to take advantage of the Knicks defense. Just attacking Cat and Brunson and going downhill. I think there's a lot of mismatch advantages they can exploit with Denver. Since David Adelman has taken over as head coach, they went 3-0 in the regular season. Yep. They won a hard-fought series against the Clippers, and I think the Clippers were a great team, and Zubac is the best Jokic defender out there, and their defense is all of a sudden coming to life now. And Aaron Gordon is playing out of his mind, and Russell Westbrook's playing great and amazing off the bench. We're not even getting Jamal Murray contributing at a consistently high level. He has his moments, but we know there's always a potential chance that can happen against OKC. Much tougher because of their defensive guards, but overall, the type of shots that Jokic can just generate on a possession by possession basis, it gives me more optimism for them in their matchup than the Knicks versus the Boston Celtics, because I think the Knicks are very Brunson ball reliant, and it's a lot of one-on-one ISO, and he's a tough shot maker, and that's where his bread and butter is at. But it is a stagnant offense, and they get onto cold streaks, and this game looked over halfway into the third quarter. They were up 75-55, and the Knicks came back in this game. But like I said, it took a historic amount of missed threes for Boston to lose in overtime.
I'm just trying to make an argument for the Knicks, to be quite honest with you.
Yo, and I got one for you, Joel. Because be that as it may, that Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum turned into Frozone. Be that as it may, let me throw something else out there for you too. Because OG Anunoby decided to hoop, but Jalen Brunson didn't necessarily have his best game. He down the stretch he made a couple. In overtime he made a couple, but he didn't go ballistic. He didn't just put up. He didn't do what Donovan Mitchell did last night.
No.
Also, hello, there's a guy named Big Bodega. You know, Big Purr. Let him show up to the party. Then what does it look like? I'm saying you guys, and I know you're saying you like. I know you guys' offense is very Brunson centric, but Karl Anthony Towns is good to go for 26 and 13 on any given night. We're gonna get a Karl Anthony Towns game.
He could do that.
And let it be tonight. Let Karl Anthony Towns show up and cook. And on top of that, we don't know what Porzingis' status is. I know they said he was present during shoot around this morning, but we don't know what his status is. Let Porzingis not play. And Karl Anthony Towns all of a sudden show up and want to hoop. That changes the dynamic of the game. So
I'm hoping we get a great cat. And
you do realize the Boston Celtics were up 20 in that game, right?
Yes, they were in the third quarter, by the way.
72-52 in the second half. They just cratered. They cratered. They couldn't make shots. There's really no reason to overreact to this. The Celtics are going to win. The Celtics are going to win this game.
So don't overreact to when the Bucks came or when the Bucks let the Pacers come back. Don't overreact to the Cavs game last night. Don't overreact to when OKC was down and made their comeback. We don't overreact to any 20-point comeback. It just
there's different circumstances, Ron.
Chill. It's bread and butter. It's as simple as me waking up and pouring milk in a bowl, eating cereal every day. It just happens.
Okay, so the Cavs. Okay, what's more likely, Ron? The Cavs go up 20 against Indiana with their rotation guys, with Max Strus, with Sam Merrill shooting the way that they're doing, shooting the way that they're shooting, and Indiana playing bad like they were playing, or the Celtics going up 20, shooting the long ball and then going to pieces and that continuing. What's more likely, Ron?
What's more likely is the Celtics.
I agree.
Yeah, but you guys, I feel like y'all are really just basing every game on the game before without like acknowledging the fact that every game of basketball is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? We can't just watch. Okay, well, we see this in game one.
Yes, I
understand. I do understand that. I do understand that with all the similarities that you will find in a team scheme, specifically like the Celtics. I can see that with the Celtics, how they are more consistent than most teams as far as what their scheme is. Still, you're going to have different games, like especially with your role players. You know what I'm saying? Your role players it's going to fluctuate game to game more often than anything. So I just don't like the idea that we're gonna base game 2 off of game 1. You know what I mean? So it's really harder to.
I'd be happy if the Knicks.
He just asked what's more likely, so I just think it's more likely that Boston miss a lot of threes again.
Right. Yo, no, I'm not necessarily just talking about. I'm talking about this whole conversation. I feel like we're heavily basing game 2 off of game 1, and you know what I'm saying. Like to Ron's point, a lot can happen. You know, Cat can play good, and OG could go for 6. You know what I'm saying, and Mikal Bridges might have 17. You know what I mean, or
God forbid Josh Hart wants to attack.
That's not gonna happen. He's scared to score.
It's going to fluctuate. I mean, I'm happy if the Knicks take this series to 6, given how much of an underdog they were heading into it. I mean, obviously, best case scenario is we win the series overall, but I think just giving the Celtics a fight, there's room for optimism next season. So all 5 teams, they lost. The favorites they've lost in the playoffs so far. Which one of the teams do you think is are you worried about the most? That's the favorite that came into the series as a favorite.
Cleveland,
the Cavs,
Cleveland.
If you didn't have to mention the Cavs, just because of the injuries, I know that like the injuries make it so it's like, yeah, you're the most worried about them, but Minnesota, OKC, or Boston?
Not Minnesota, because that was Steph's hammy last night, so I'm not worried about Minnesota.
OKC. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, OKC more than anybody else.
I don't know, man.
I'd have to say the Celtics.
The Knicks got the clutch player of the year and the best player in the series. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
OG.
I already picked the Knicks to win though. So I'm
the best player in the series. You talking about OG?
So when we come back, tomorrow, and Jayson Tatum is 37, 14, 8 assists and 2 steals, and they beat the Knicks tomorrow. Then they beat the Knicks tonight going away. I want to hear the same logic from you, Ron. I do.
Hey,
37, 14, and 8.
I want to see.
Well, that's not a triple double, so who cares?
Okay. Wait, Mars, you picked the Knicks to win the series?
Knicks and
Mars picked the Knicks in 6. He did.
Nice.
OG ain't going out like that.
But what's your pick on Twitter? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, Mars, what's your pick on Twitter?
Bro, if you follow me on Twitter, you follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you don't follow me on Twitter.
Are you two-faced, Mars? Is that what we're going to start calling you?
I'm like 3 faces, Ron.
We're running a
different picks for different platforms.
Yeah, you got the PC picks. The PC picks are Denver in 5 or 7. The Warriors in 6, the Knicks in 6, and the Pacers in 5. Those are the PC picks. The Hoop Talk picks are the Timberwolves in 5 or 6, the Thunder in 5, the Celtics in 5. And it was the Cavs in 5, but I didn't know they were hurt. So now it's gonna be Cavs in. Know about that series, really. I actually don't know. And then the Twitter picks is just however I feel on the day.
It's impossible to be wrong.
That's his motivation right there. Yeah, that's what Mars.
But yeah,
but imagine if you go 0 for 3. Imagine you're wrong on all of them.
Well, no, I'll just take, like, if I'm right about the Warriors beating the Timberwolves over here, then we'll just ignore the Hoop Talk podcast pick and be like, that one doesn't count. But then if I'm right on my podcast about the Thunder beating the Nuggets, then I'll ignore my panel pick and say I was right over there. Either way, you're gonna have to find somewhere I was right. Somewhere I made a prediction and it was right.
Mars, I'm gonna have to put the flame to you, and now you got to stand on business somewhere. If you only had one face that you could pick, which one are you taking? Hoop Talk, PC, or Twitter? And I know you're not taking Twitter.
I'm picking good basketball, man. I think we're in for some great series.
Now this, man.
This. Whoever wins, I think it's going to be a great series. I think so far we've seen an amazing game one between Boston and New York. An amazing game one between OKC
Mars, you need to pick
Denver.
a side.
No, I don't. That's goals.
Little shout out there.
I ain't gonna do that. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. I gotta sit on the fence and say I'm right no matter what. That's where I'm at. But I think we're in for some good basketball. Whoever wins. I don't really care.
Well, shout out to all of those who actually. Shout out to everybody that actually does pick a side.
But to be fair, I get called a coward all the time. I just don't care.
And I get called Mr. Flip Aside because I react to new information. Like OG here, new information comes. I might change my opinion.
That matters, Joe.
It's called Mr. Flip. It's called Mr. Flip Aside.
It's called
I gotta
not standing on business.
I gotta say, Joe. Like I know it's at your expense, but Mr. Flip Aside is kind of fire though.
It is kind of.
That's the nickname.
That's kind of fire, bro.
I was unaware. I was unaware that it happened so many different places. Mars is saying that he has 3 different opinions. I'm like, I would never be that extreme.
Because I'm used to this, man. I've been doing this like 3 years running. I'm doing it.
Ox in Ox court. Ox knows this. I mean, we can't indict if we got new information. Like we got to rip these indictment papers up.
That's what I try to tell Riv.
Can't do that.
Yeah, but you guys decide there's new information after one game. Like not always. Sometimes just a game happens. Like
yeah, like I'm not gonna look at what Jokic did in game 1 and be like, okay, the Thunder can't stop Jokic. There's evidence they can. Huh?
There's evidence. There's evidence that they can. No, I mean,
Jokic shot below 50% against the Thunder in 3 of their meetings this year.
Yeah, okay. and he's 5 points below season average. So like either they can't guard him, or like whatever we saw in the regular season. Like what do we play the regular season for if none of it matters after one game, right? If you think about it, Isaiah Hartenstein. If I had to design the ideal defense against against someone like Jokic, I'd probably include a weak side shot blocker like Chet. I'd probably include a post defender like Isaiah Hartenstein, and include a ton of wing defenders who can bother him. I mean,
I would definitely get Zoo, but I mean, I get what you're saying.
Sure. Yeah. Like if you can get Zubac, it's great. But I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein's not chopped liver. He's a pretty good defender. He's a really good defender, actually.
He's definitely not chopped liver. Definitely respect him.
So
how many times
do we see someone how many times in that game did we see Jokic just toss the ball over, or Lu Dort just intercepts a pass, and you just like, damn, how do you see that?
That was crazy. I remember that. That was crazy.
Right? So I'm just saying, like, because he won and because he scored a lot of points, there's this narrative they can't stop him. But if he comes out today and scores 16 points, then what happens to those takes?
Well, how does Jokic usually play against them?
I mean, they usually swarm him and make him a playmaker. In game 1, they posted Jokic up less, so there was less swarms. So it's going to be interesting to see what OKC do with that. Can they double team him in the middle of the floor without giving up wide open dunks? I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I expect a big check game, yo. I expect a big check game coming back. Like I'm gonna feel like he probably took a lot of media backlash, a lot of fan backlash. I know Capers was going at him hard. To kind of blow it for your team when you were up and you go to the line and you just brick him, and he was shaking. Like, I swear to God, I was looking at my TV. I'm like, he's going to miss at least one. I know he's going to miss one. Missing both, that's crazy. So you missed both.
And could have still got the rebound, by the way, because nobody blocked out the shooter. He could have walked right into the lane and got the rebound.
Yep.
That could have very well happened.
And then who
very well happened.
And then who did Aaron Gordon hit the shot over?
Chet. Oh my goodness.
So it's like, like Chet Holmgren had the worst 7 seconds of his life right there, right?
You seen him walk down.
He's really tough. He's really tough. He's a really, really tough kid. I expect him to bounce back. You know, we saw that game in round 1 where he went like crazy bad in the first half. He came out in the second half. He bounced back. I trust Chet to bounce back for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Pin, I agree with everything you said except for Jokic having a. Hold on, you think Jokic is going to have a bad game tonight, or you're saying you're just not ruling it out?
Not 40.
I mean,
20.
he could.
Not 40.
He could have 40.
What do you think he's gonna do tonight?
I think he's gonna have like 22.
That's a bad game.
And 16.
That's a bad game. After 40 and 20, that's a bad game. 100%.
40 and 20 is the new standard.
It depends. Like you could play better with 22 and 16 than 40 and 20. It just depends how you play.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, okay, so now it sounds to me, Mars, like we're going over different examples. Joker's 40 and 20. What did that look like?
Look cool.
No, it didn't look cool. It looked awesome.
Yeah,
so now
the first three were all right.
We go from that 40 and 20 to I'm not going to say pedestrian 22 and 16 because the 22 and 16
pedestrian, then yeah, he plays pedestrian.
But the 22 and 16 could be on good efficiency, right? He could go, I don't know, 8-4, 14 and not go to the strike.
And he could have 16 dimes.
Right?
Jokic is rare. It's rare that you can put up Jokic offensive stats. I'm talking about on the offensive end of the court. When you talk about stats with Jokic, they're usually impactful. Like you can usually say like, oh, Jokic had 28 and 16. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, he was cooking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's very rare where you're like, oh, that was empty. You can rarely use the empty stat logic thing that people do on Jokic. Jokic is impactful. Like when he's passing, he's usually passing with the purpose. He's usually passing to score. He's usually scoring in big moments too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? However you look at the big or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like Jokic stats usually mean something. You know what I mean? So if I hear he had 22, 16, and 9, I can't be like, oh, that's it. Like, nah, he was.
Yeah, but he didn't have a triple double.
Damn that triple double. Like, damn that triple double. Like, yeah, that's why I like Jokic. I know I'm a Jokic hater or whatever, but I like Jokic because of that. You know what I'm saying? And with him playing not a lick of defense, I'm still like, bro, he has to play. You can't ever sit him down because he is the engine of everything. His stats are impactful. His assists are with the purpose. He passes with the purpose. He's an intelligent basketball player. Like 22 and 16, I can't look at that and be like, oh, that's pedestrian. Nah,
but we just did, but didn't we just do that when Joker went for didn't he go 24 and 16 against Zubac, and it looked pedestrian. It didn't look like a 22 and 16 that was great. Now, if he's doing that against a lesser than front line with Chet, because he seems to have had his way with Chet in that one game, right? So with that being said, if he does that, if he does that against Chet, where the efficiency isn't as good, because that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on the efficiency not being as good. I've seen a 4 for 6, not 4 for 16. That's a little much. I'm thinking like a 7 for 20 game from Joker, something like that. Like 7 for 20.
He must be launching that bit from 3.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about that.
So be like 7 for 15.
How does he have almost 2.5 steals per game in the first round if he doesn't play a lick of defense? That's what I want to know. How's he getting all these rebounds on the defensive glass if you don't play a lick of defense?
He's the closest to the rim, so he gets the most rebounds.
Yeah, rebounding.
Rebounds not defense though.
Pascal Siakam was close to the rim last night. He didn't get no rebounds.
He's not Jokic.
Jokic is a good rebounder. He's the closest to the rim. So
I'm just saying, for a guy who does a lot of good things defensively, from communicating to just moving his guys.
Series and we're back to Jokic is a good defender.
I'm not saying he's a good defender. I'm just trying to get over this take that he doesn't play no defense
at all.
Like we can agree.
You know what, Pin? He played. I think he probably played better defense in this last series than I expected him to play, or I've probably seen him play in a long time.
I think it was his best defensive series.
Yeah, I would say that he was pretty
good against the Heat in the
this summer.
Defense. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but you could try and still be garbage. We've seen Trey Young. I don't think Jokic was bad on defense against Clippers. I think he was fine.
I think against the Clippers was pretty decent.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
a Jokic scale of 1 to 10, or
no, a real scale of 1 to 10.
So 10 is Hakeem and 1 is like Trey Young.
He's about
a 5. I'll even say 5.5. Yeah, I'll even go that far. But my thing that is very generous. My thing is that's good for Jokic though. But the problem with him is I like him. I like him more like what Chill was talking about. He's kind of off ball talking and when he's one-on-one or when he has somebody coming downhill at him, it's a buffet. Like he's just there's the lack of rim protection is a big knock, Pin. I know that y'all like, well, everybody's not a big rim protector. Everybody this, everybody that. When you're 7 feet tall and you're in the middle of the paint and you're not a rim protector, that is a huge knock.
But he
and
has rim deterrence though.
And I don't care what else you do. Like I don't care what else you do. If you can get your hands busy over here and you are a complete negative at rim protection, I don't even. Okay, y'all can say that might sound ignorant or whatever. I don't care about anything else you do on defense. If you're the 7 foot center and you're in the middle of the floor,
I just think that
so we just don't care about the terror shots.
No, not at all.
There's certain narratives,
especially since that's straight bullshit.
Here's the thing: there's narratives about like really great players. Like there's narratives about Jalen Brunson being a grifter, flopper, whatever.
Absolutely, he is a grifter.
He's crafty as hell. And occasionally it looks really, really flagrant. All right. There's talks about, Jayson Tatum being soft or fading or whatever. And yeah, sure. Sometimes gilgeous-alexander, free throw merchant. Jokic, complete pylon defensively. I feel like people just need something to latch on when a player is really great and be like, I hate this guy because of this reason or that reason. Truth be told, it's not entirely true. Jokic is not that bad defensively. I've seen so many centers who are worse. You want to see a really, really bad defensive center? Jonas Valanciunas. That is awful.
Yeah, that's like
he can't do anything. Unplayable levels of defense. Okay, there's plenty of bigs. I'm sorry, there's plenty of bigs.
But them dudes aren't supposed to be talked about as all-time greats. Pin, the fact that somebody else does it doesn't make it better that you do it. I don't care about what the dudes you're in his freedom. I don't care about.
Yeah, one could.
I don't care about 42 minutes. DeMontis is a much better defender than Jokic, though.
No, he's not.
And DeMontis is still not a good defender. And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't pretend. You can't just you can't just throw DeMontis' name out there and think I'm going to be like, no, DeMontis isn't a good defender.
Anthony Davis. He doesn't need to be Anthony Davis. You
want to talk about him as an all-time great? I'm talking about all-time great defenders, and he's nowhere near
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson's an all-time great. He's not an all-time defender.
I'm talking about rim protectors.
Magic is the easiest.
I'm talking about rim protectors and bigs. I thought we were talking about centers. I thought we were talking about centers.
Hold on. Why
are we talking about centers or not?
Well, Dirk would be the example, I think.
So first of all, you're talking about centers. You're also talking about a guy who effectively plays the role of a point guard for his team. So just because he happens to be 6'10" and has long arms and plays close to the block does not mean that he has to achieve the exact ideals that Bill Russell did. That's not what okay, cool. He doesn't do that. He doesn't block a lot of shots. There's plenty of bigs who don't block.
Does he not block a lot of shots? He doesn't protect the rim at all. You don't have to be a shot blocker to be a rim protector. And he's neither one. He's neither a rim protector nor a shot blocker.
98% rim protector.
Let me ask you, because this is interesting. How many centers are better than Jokic defensively right now? Let's not even go all time.
Most of them.
No, not most.
In the NBA,
we don't got time to go through this whole list.
We actually do.
If you guys
we could just do starting centers.
Just 5 minutes.
We're only doing starting centers. There's 15. Right. There's going to be at least 15.
Daniel Gafford.
It'll be way more than 15.
Gafford? No, Ron.
Way more, Ron.
No.
It's going to be,
Is Daniel Gafford a better defender?
Wait, does Bam play center still?
Bam plays the 5.
Yes, Bam is better.
Actually, Bam doesn't play the 5.
That's a hot take.
Khalil Ware plays the 5. But let's start at the top. Yes,
right quick, chill. Before we get into it, I just want to set some boundaries. I want to go all big men that play significant minutes.
Yes,
so if you play, and you could come off the bench, but if you play a significant role in your team,
so like big. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's really get down to the meat potatoes.
So let's start at the top. Ron Allen.
Do this.
Jarrett Allen's better defensively.
Yes.
Porzingis.
Porzingis better.
Cat
is worse. Way worse. So much worse.
I would go with
crazy how much worse.
Turner.
Who? Worse. Turner is worse.
Lopez.
Lopez.
Wait.
Wait. Hold on.
I was waiting for you guys to intervene.
No.
That's why they want to do this. I'm not.
Even with the cat
thing.
thing.
Go ahead, Ron. Y'all got it. I'm
And
not.
even with the cat thing.
Leave cat
Even
alone.
with the cat, I'm just
Leave
saying
Cat
we can flip a coin.
Is
Like,
Alperen Şengün a better defender than Jokic?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we
No.
didn't get there yet.
Alperen Şengün is
We ain't get
No,
there yet.
he's
We ain't
not.
get there yet. Hang on.
Wait. So, all right, we can let Cat go. We can let Cat go. The Miles Turner,
okay.
hell no.
Okay,
no.
Miles Turner. No, Miles Turner. Lopez.
Jokic
Lopez
is
is
better
worse.
right now. Lopez is a bad defender.
Oh
right now.
no! Oh no! That man be getting played off the court because of his defense.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Yeah, but if
top five in blocks.
Joker
Miles
wasn't
Turner
the
be
offensive
tricking y'all,
juggernaut,
man.
if
That's not the
if
thing I was
Joker
thinking.
wasn't the
Miles Turner
offensive
is
not a
juggernaut that he
good
was, he
defender,
would
yo.
not.
Yeah.
But Penn, I need you to understand this. If Joker was the offensive player that Brook Lopez was too, not only would he be getting played off the court, but he
definitely
be in the NBA.
I can see that's the thing. That's where it's hard to decipher.
Okay.
At least Brook Lopez protects the rim.
Oh,
If
If
Joker
Joker was the offensive
I agree,
player
I
Brook
agree,
Lopez
I
is,
agree,
he
I
would not
agree,
be
I
in the
agree.
league.
and you better not come to the hoop on some bullshit and Brook Lopez down there. You will get a sit back in your face.
Right back in your face.
Nah, but
Okay,
Jokic
Ron.
is so much
I'll
better
opt to
in
hit a
passing
8-foot
lanes,
floater,
and
he won't
he
touch
can
it.
move better. I think Jokic is a better defender than Brook right now.
All right, so right now we got Brook and Cat.
No, I'm not
Okay.
taking.
We
Brook.
also got Miles
I'm not
Turner.
taking
If you
Brook
take
either.
my vote into consideration.
See, but
Miles
we're
Turner
not,
is not.
man,
a good
we're not.
defender.
I don't
We're
like-
not.
be
We're
honest
not
with
doing
I like Miles Turner as a rim deterrent. I like Miles Turner as a rim protector. The other stuff, I'm good. To be honest with y'all, I'm good too. Pip.
Yeah,
What about Nick?
y'all got
Basketball
Brook. Y'all
awareness
got Brook.
is
Y'all got
terrible.
Brook.
He's not a great
Wait a minute,
rebounder.
I promise we're gonna get there. Jalen Duren.
Okay.
Duren is worse.
I'll go Jokic right now.
Wendell Carter.
Hey, you can shoot right now. Look at him.
Carter is worse.
Not Wendell. I'm sorry. Khalil Ware.
Wait,
Well,
where
Carter's
is
worse
worse?
than Jokic?
Yes.
What are we? Why are you
Khalil
just
Ware
letting
is
this happen?
Hey, Jokic gonna make an all defensive team.
No.
What
No,
is
he's
that
not.
to be like?
No, he's not.
So-
No, he's
so-
not.
so-
Plenty of
Jalen
centers.
Duren, Wendell Carter.
One of
So the
them.
Magic just got this good defense,
So help
and
me
Wendell
God.
Carter's
If you
back
say
there being
Alex
Jokic
Starr is
level
better, I'm
defender.
gonna flip the hell out.
No,
man.
worse than Jokic defensively.
Oh my god.
So they just got a great defense just because of Franz Wagner's the most.
The most versatile defender in the league, yeah.
And so it's all on Franz and Jalen Suggs.
And
Keep in mind,
Jonathan
Jalen
Isaac,
Suggs
15
wasn't
minutes.
there for the
And Jonathan
second
Isaac,
half of the
15
season.
minutes. And
Jonathan Isaac's
15
better. I'll
minutes.
give you that.
Oh my god!
Because remember,
Wendell
Paolo's
Carter.
out.
Wendell Carter is better than Joker on defense. Yes, he is.
Come on, man!
Stop.
Like stop.
Wendell
Barely.
Carter is
Wait,
better-
wait.
is better than Joker on defense.
Y'all giving him Jalen Duren too.
No, no.
What about
Oh,
Isaiah?
no.
I just want-
Jalen
I'm going
Duren
Isaiah
moves better
Stewart.
than him.
Isaiah Stewart. I'm going Isaiah Stewart.
Penn, Isaiah Stewart better.
Stewart's better.
Cool.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That's it.
Thank you.
So Khalil
Um,
Ware.
Who they got?
Jokic is better.
Then the Rook.
Move along.
Yeah, move along, man. Move along.
Yeah.
No, he is
No
not.
rookies. Let's be fair.
Are you
Okay,
kidding
no
me
rookie.
right now?
No, rookie.
Donovan
Donovan
was a
Clingan is
rookie
better
last
than
year.
I don't know who you
Donovan
think Khalil
Clingan.
Ware is.
Donovan Clingan is better
He
defensively
blocks
than
some
Jokic.
shots.
We include the
Cool.
rookies.
He's like
100%
190 pounds soaking wet. He would die against most big men in the block, and he does.
Plays
Does
against
he?
most big men.
Regularly.
Khalil Ware
Does
is
he?
out and he's
So
held
he
his
just
own.
gets cooked.
No, he does
Yes.
not.
You better not
Khalil
take
Ware
Chet better for the same reason. He 190.
100%. Okongwu.
Give him
about
one
a-
of them. Give him one
how
of them.
about Okongwu in
Let him
Atlanta?
have
One of
them.
who?
Okongwu?
One of these
Yeah,
dudes. Let him
Okongwu
choose one
was
and let him
worse
keep one
this
of them.
year.
Wendell or Khalil.
Okongwu
Let him
used to
have
be
one.
great. Okongwu used to be great. It's terrible now. I don't know what the hell happened to
What
him.
about Mohamed Gay?
He's all right.
How about
Good.
No. Stand on business. Remember, you came up here and derailed a whole episode for about 15-20 minutes talking about Muhammad Gay. Now,
was like
is
4.5
he better than
minutes.
Nikola
I did.
Jokic?
I
Yeah,
did.
you did. Who?
No, I didn't. This is W gaslighting. What are you talking about?
It was like
So y'all don't remember
4.5
this?
minutes. I remember Mohamed Gay derailing the conversation. I can't remember if it was Penn or Jordan.
I did not. Who are you confusing me with?
It might have been Jordan, but we're gonna blame you because you up here. So yeah, Penn. Oh, you.
I never did that.
Nah,
I've
you might.
never done that. I don't have any strong emotions about Mohamed Gay at all.
I just love
who-
how
so-
the Jokic
so-
topic
so-
has summoned Swiper in the chat. He just came out of nowhere.
So
Swipe
so
him,
Been
come
here
on.
for about 5
Hey,
So,
nah,
Joe,
hey,
wait,
Swiper, you got the link. Come on.
So Joe, where we at right now? So of the 10 teams that I named, okay, so Miles Turner, he said so we have Miles Turner. Yeah, we have Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, and
Jalen Duren
Cat and Jalen Duren are better.
and Wendell Carter too. No, he's better. No,
better.
Joker's better than.
Okay,
I know.
so
Khalil Ware,
all right,
you missing that?
and Khalil Ware too. So that's 6.
And Okongwu. And Okongwu.
Wait. So y'all are you? No, wait, Penn. Are you telling me that Joker is a top 10?
We ain't there yet.
Defender?
No.
We ain't there. We ain't there.
He's not top 25.
It seems like in the East, he's in the top 5 defensive.
We ain't there.
But he don't play in these.
So Penn.
Yeah.
Penn. How about Vooch?
He's better than
I'll go
Vooch.
Jokic.
Vooch is terrible.
He's better.
Right.
Yeah.
How about your man Pirtle in Toronto?
It's close. It's really close. It's really close.
No, it's
I'll give
not,
Pirtle the edge by like
What?
a little bit. Pirtle has not protected the rim very well. I just think Pirtle is reasonably good at moving his feet on the perimeter. Reasonably good. He used to be much better. I'm gonna say 5 years ago, no contest. 4 years ago, no contest. Pirtle's rim numbers, like in terms of how opponents shoot at the rim when Pirtle is there, have not been great. But I will say Pirtle participated in a very good defense in the last 44 games. So maybe
which might have something to do with why he was as good as he was.
No,
they did.
Scotty Barnes was why the Raptors defense was good. Pirtle is just there.
Which is a byproduct of why Pirtle is as good as he is. Is that not fair, Penn?
I mean, honestly, they were just as fine with Orlando Robinson on the court. If you want to argue Orlando Robinson
is a product. Chill's saying Pirtle looks better because he's in a good defense. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
I mean, he was also part
unlike Joker.
I mean, in fairness, Chill, the Raptors were also 30th in defense earlier in the season, and he was also a big part of that.
You're not doing that with me, Penn, because you came up here plenty of times and told me how good your defense was over the last 20 games. Your top 4, your top 5 in the league.
So Chill, defense. 2 halves of a season. First half of the season, worst defense in the league. Second half of the season, top 4 defense in the league. And Pirtle was part of both of it. And I would argue he played way more in the first part.
Can't we say the same thing about Joker? I mean, Joker,
I'm just saying it's close. I'm just saying it's close. I'm just saying Pirtle is not talked about as a top 10 player of all time. So nobody is going to sit there and dissect what he does or doesn't do on defense. People think because he's a hustle big who rebounds the basketball at a reasonable rate and blocks a couple shots that he's a good defender. And I watched this guy all year and I'm telling you, he's not that good a defender. So in the gap between him and Jokic, I'll give a slight edge to Pirtle, but it's not a big gap. It's not a big gap.
How about Claxton?
Claxton's better.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, I see something.
Actually,
look, this is how I know a show is dead.
Dayron,
let them team up together. Let them team up together.
I tried not to do this, Swiper. I did not want to do this, Swiper. You heard me say I did not want to do this, Swiper. Please don't.
This is how you know on PC a show is dead. Because we got clappers.
Penn made us do this.
I'm not done. We got clappers and twerkers up here. Never watched Wendell Carter Jr. the whole damn year.
You don't watch Orlando?
No, you don't.
You don't watch Orlando?
You're 3 hours ahead, Ox. Your eyes
y'all got to do
shut.
anything. What the hell are you talking about? That's
not
how TVs work.
Hold on. You got to take post-daycare naps by the time the Orlando Magic comes on. You don't get a chance to watch this game. And then you don't wake up early enough to turn the game back on. Wendell Carter Jr. has not had a good defensive year. You're lying. Everyone
what did Jokic have?
Hey.
Not everybody
up here.
But I did say this.
Is he not good or do we not watch?
No, but look, but now we're talking about the playoffs, though, Mars. The question should be among these people, who has he been better than in the playoff? Because in the regular season,
not in the playoffs.
Thank you, Swap.
Because the regular season, everybody on Denver was bad, including Aaron Gordon, because of the injuries. But Aaron Gordon hadn't been a terrible defender in the playoffs. Neither is Jokic. So I'm saying now, have this conversation about the playoff. That's the actual place to start.
I don't like how we derail in this. No, You're not going to derail what we're trying to do.
Because in the regular season,
you're not going to do
that.
You want me to get him out here?
Doing that.
Games and look at
I can make an argument.
Doing that. 10 games. How is going?
That doesn't make sense because when we go into the playoff every year, we do this with certain players.
Should I do
a good regular season defense? But in the playoffs, they turn up. Anthony Davis can have a bad regular season defensive year.
The ball hit emoji.
He was a bad defender, and then he goes to the playoff. When has
Anthony Davis been a bad defender in the regular season?
2023 until the trade. Bring that up.
He was a bad defender.
2023. Last year, This year,
bad
this
defender.
year with the Lakers, what did he do defensively? What did he do?
So
with the
wait,
Road?
wait.
Anthony Davis was a bad defender.
He was a bad defender
by his
relative
standards.
He
to
had
what
a horrible defense with Anthony Davis.
I am
on the
going
court
to
this year.
flip
Wait, so
that
you are
out.
telling
I'm
me
going to
that
lose my.
Anthony Davis was a bad defender this
With
year.
the Lakers, he had a bad defensive season. Objectively,
Relative-
they
Wait,
had
relative
a
to what?
bad defensive year. That's not even a question.
Swiper, stop
That's
doing
not even
that.
a question.
Relative to what,
There's nothing to
Swiper?
do.
Relative to what, Swiper? He had a bad
to the league. He didn't do his job, chill. He didn't do his
Relative
job.
to the league,
my mind.
so Anthony Davis was a bad
What
defender.
were their numbers
relative
defensively when
to
he
the
was with the
league.
Lakers this year?
Not relative to Anthony Davis being an elite defender, not relative to what Anthony Davis' standards was.
Chill, but you'll
Anthony
say-
Davis was
you'll
a
say
bad
Anthony
defender
Davis is an elite defender
relative to
no matter
the
what he
rest
does.
of the league.
No
Is
matter
that
what
I'm
he
listening
does,
to from you
no,
right
but
now,
chill, this is the
Swiper?
issue. You will always say he's an elite defender no matter what he does. No matter what he does.
Man,
That's
I was
not
doing.
fair.
I was
I
doing-
don't
wait, you know what
think you're allowed
no,
to do
wait,
that.
wait,
Say you can do whatever you
Swiper's
want.
good
No.
at what he's doing.
No, he's
Swiper's
not. I was
knocked us
doing a
off
better
our
job of what he was doing
who
right
are
now.
defenders better than
Damn
Jokic
it.
by
Okay.
saying something
No,
outlandish.
I'm
like
still there,
Anthony
Mars.
Davis
I'm
was a
still
bad
there.
defender this
You
year.
said
I'm
you
still
the
on the board.
conversation started with Wendell Carter
still
Jr.
got
Back
the
to the
pill, Mars.
list.
Like,
Very
what
smart
do you
I'm
say?
still here.
He's a very
I'm
smart
Let's get back to
Wendell
this
Carter
list.
Jr. You
Hell
shouldn't
no,
be
we're
allowed
not
to
doing
talk about
that.
him.
No,
He's a very smart
No.
individual. I
All right,
respect
y'all.
that.
Swiper, you will not throw us off our tracks. This train is going one
I see
direction.
through the
We're
games.
getting
I
to
see
this
through the
destination.
games.
What I was
Chill.
asking,
Let's get
Ron,
back to it.
What I was asking, Ron, how about Joel Embiid?
And Embiid's a better defender.
Embiid's a better defender. Way better.
How about Mark Williams?
Who?
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams.
No. In no way, shape, or form.
Jokic is better.
Yeah, I'll go.
Mark
Jokic.
Williams is hella overrated.
How about Alex Sarr?
Alex Sarr is overrated.
So that means
I think his defense is
which is
good.
crazy.
His
Give me
defense is
Alex
good.
Sarr.
Okay for a
I
rookie,
think he's a
but
damn
he's
good-
he's
I
not
think
he's not.
So we're not putting rookies ahead.
Okay,
of
what
him.
does he do besides beat
Oh, I'm
Tom?
putting
Okay.
Donovan Clingan ahead of him.
Here's my
Donovan
litmus
easily.
test.
Alex
Just-
Sarr is
just-
better than
just so
him,
we
too.
understand this.
Well, what does Sarr do?
Just
What does Sarr do
just
defensively
just
this
so
year that
I
made you
just so
Sarr?
I can frame this.
Switchability.
The only way that I'm picking
That's
someone
what
over
I'm doing,
Jokic is if you can tell me
That beat
100%
Jokic twice.
that I can take Jokic
Okay.
off the court, put this player on, and they're going to be better. There's no way in hell that
Defensively,
Denver's
though, it's
defense
tricky.
is going to be better.
Not
if
as
you
a team,
just
just
sub
Jokic
Jokic for Alex Sarr.
Just
Yeah,
defensively,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm talking about defense. I'm saying your defensive rating, your defensive efficiency, your defensive communication, your ability to match up with different teams, your ability to operate within your own team scheme. I don't think you're better with Khalil Ware and Alex Sarr. I'm sorry,
I would
they're
go with
rookies.
Jokic.
Very rarely is a rookie going to have that type of defensive impact.
Donovan Clingan.
There might
Alex Sarr
Donovan
just being-
Klingan is
You
one.
don't need that much
and that's
defensive
it.
impact to be better
That's
than
what I'm
Jokic.
saying. Like, what?
No,
You just need to
you
know
do.
he back.
Because hold on. First
Alex
of all,
Sarr's
fundamental-
athleticism, ability to move on the
Athleticism
perimeter,
beat-
This
hey,
is not-
athleticism
the
beat
rim.
again.
This is not the YMCA, Ron.
Goodness gracious.
This is an NBA basketball game. in
Sarr
which
will be a better
basketball
defender.
IQ actually does
he
matter.
is a better
Yes, he
defender
will be,
right
Joe.
now.
No,
100%
he's not.
Joe.
No, he's
Why?
not.
Why? But
He's a
this,
rookie.
can we clean this
With-
thing up?
with-
That
I'm just
Jokic
saying,
is not a
like,
tall
EBC
Luka?
is not a better defender.
Can we do that real
Okay, but
quickly?
with
Nobody
all
said that,
with-
Swiper, and you're not
with
about to
all
put us
that
in
IQ,
Well, because
Nobody
of y'all,
said that.
because of y'all in
Nope.
the comment section, they're saying that. Because
Nope,
of you all.
nobody's saying that.
Because of
None of
you
us
all.
said that up
These
here.
people,
None of us
these
said that he's a
people
tall
up here.
joker. I mean, he's a tall Luka. Nobody said that up here. No. So to Ron's point, Ron, you were making a
It's
point.
better
Go ahead.
defensively.
all
I-
I'm saying is with
Ron, what does that
so
pay?
I'm saying you throw Alex Sarr in that defensive scheme. I'm just saying his ability to guard pick and rolls, switch on the perimeter,
Guard the rim.
just be more versatile and
Guard the
be more
rim.
mobile. And on top
What
of that,
the hell do you
and
think
on top-
Alex Sarr is?
and on-
Alex Sarr is not
and-
good.
and on top of that,
Yes, he
I
is.
can
There's a
protect
reason the
rim better
Wizards
than you.
suck.
You didn't
Okay,
watch-
but
you
Jokic is
watched the game
bad.
of
He
Wizards
He
game
has
stinks
this year?
offensively. Alex
I
Sarr
watched-
I've
stinks
watched
on
a
offense.
lot of
I
Wizards
did,
games
I
this
did.
year.
I watched-
Keyshawn
Alex
George,
Sarr stinks
awesome.
on offense. The defense is not.
Yes.
He's not
all right.
amazing.
He's a damn good defender.
He's not amazing.
That's
on
Alex
defense.
Sarr's. That's Alex Sarr's calling
What are you
card is his
talking about?
defense.
Yes.
I'm not
So you
like
say.
That's why he got drafted. But did he do that at a better level than Jokic? Consistently is the
Yes.
question.
No.
Yes, was he a bad
That's
defender
the-
this
that's
year?
the
That's
question.
what you
Yes,
guys are
he
saying.
was a
You're saying
bad
Alex Sarr was
defender.
just
I don't know
a
what the
clear
hell you guys are
negative
watching.
I don't
He
think
was
Sarr
bad,
a
or the
bad
Wizards were
defender this
bad.
year.
Let's check this out.
He
I
was
don't
bad
know.
or the Wizards were bad.
Barnes' favorite PBP. Let's look at this.
What are you gonna look at on off defensive splits?
Bro,
What are you gonna look?
he had
That's what
he,
you
he
love
got
to do.
okay. Okay,
going to
I'll tell you the only
Where's
thing
the
Alex
Lamar
Starr did
Miller
well
shot
defensively
forward
this
in
year.
this
The
one?
only thing is he got to the rim and he blocked shots. That's it. That's literally it. That's all you're going to be able to say about him. He blocked a lot of shots.
She's way more switchable than you.
Wait a minute. Stay right there, Mars. That's what the problem is with Joker. We're talking about his rim deterrence. That's what we're talking about with Joker. We ain't even talking about Joker overall as a defender. We're just talking about Joker at the rim.
Well, then do everything else then. That's the thing with Jokic. The biggest criticism is the rim protection and the verticality. What about everything else?
I think Joker competes on with everything else.
What doesn't Jokic do well defensively?
I don't even need to look at. I don't even need to look at these analytics. I'm telling you,
he doesn't block shots, and he's not. He can't guard on the perimeter.
Who can guard on the perimeter? Because Giannis can't. So
I'm glad you
can guard on the perimeter.
Giannis can guard on the perimeter better than Joker.
I'm glad you said that.
Are you
sure? On the perimeter better than Joker?
Could I just watched him do this to SGA, and I just watched Giannis versus Haliburton.
Lord help me if Haliburton had done that to Jokic, the narratives that would have come out.
Tell me I'm lying, bro. Tell me I'm lying. We got a guest here. We got a guest here that's an expert. Tell me I'm lying. If that was Jokic,
you guys arguing that Giannis guards on the perimeter worse than Jokic?
No, he definitely does not.
Say it.
That's what Spike was arguing.
Get it over with.
But what we're saying
so we can get it over with.
If Haliburton had done that to Jokic, we would have never heard the end of it.
Ron would have never heard the end of it. Ron ran by it. He just skated by it because it's like, well, it's Giannis and Hali. What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do?
Swiper, who guards on the perimeter better?
Brook Lopez.
Giannis or Jokic? Who guards on the perimeter better?
Giannis.
Okay, so why are we arguing?
But barely. But he's more. I say this. He's
barely.
more.
This has become ridiculous. Ron, this has become ridiculous very quickly.
I'm not gonna.
It was already ridiculous. It was already ridiculous, and this is just going way over the top.
Let me ask you this: which player is more undisciplined defensively?
Swiper comes up and does this, and then says, "Oh, PC is a troll." This and that. Swiper comes up here and does this, and then in situations when he starts getting cooked, he starts saying, "Oh, this is what y'all do on PC."
Are you gonna call Jokic refusing to contest good discipline?
No, I'm talking about the
no. Amin Thompson is more. Thor Thompson is a lot less undisciplined than a bunch of defenders. We've seen Jalen Brunson had him in a popcorn machine. You won't take 10 more defenders over Thor Thompson.
I think he just overplayed it.
Undisciplined.
I think he just overplayed what was happening.
That's being undisciplined.
No, but seriously, there are 25. There are 25 centers that are better defensively than Jokic.
Mitchell Robinson.
25.
He's better defensively than Jokic.
Well, Mitchell's easy.
There's another one.
Swiper, do you think that
Mitchell's not that good defensively?
And he's not.
No, Mitchell. Well, respectfully, Mitchell's been great in the playoffs so far. Go ahead.
Swiper, do you honestly think that Joker is better on the perimeter defending than Giannis is?
No, I think Giannis is extremely undisciplined and he gets a pass for it. I think for sure he overplays too much.
I can appreciate.
But I don't think he's better. But I think he's Giannis' gas. Gas.
So
years now.
Ox, we kind of got we got off on the wrong exit.
Al Horford is better.
But we back on the freeway, Ox. How about Chet Holmgren?
Chet's better.
Okay, yes. Can we wipe out all defense players? Like we just take that out because there's a bunch.
Bring
Chet Holmgren.
Bring him up.
We're talking about 5 men. How about Sengun?
Sengun is worse.
No, this year Sengun had
I like
better
Sengun. I think Sengun's a better defender.
Oh my god.
Now, how is Sengun a worse defender than Jokic?
Huh?
He's playing with significantly better defenders around him.
True.
Which I think
he's worse.
That obviously helps, but Sengun was still better defensively this year.
What makes him better?
Don't answer my question with a question.
Flip the question on him. Yeah, Pin.
How he's worse. You don't answer. Okay. Oh, what makes him better? No, what makes him worse? And then
we had a whole argument 2 weeks ago, and you just
Sengun meets people at the rim better than Jokic.
How is Sengun a worse defender than Jokic?
Wait a minute, go ahead, Joe. Hold stay right there.
Disagree. No, because that's what Penn wants. Penn wants someone to ask why Sengun is better. Also, he can refute. No, let him go first. The burden of proof is on him. He said Sengun is
right
worse.
there, Joe.
So
I think Sengun is better at the rim. If you take that out of it, Jokic is better.
Nobody was saving me. Nobody was saving me.
Jokic is better at everything.
Nobody was saving me.
So Jokic is better guarding in space than Sengun.
Absolutely
not. They're both pretty bad, but I think Jokic.
Sengun is not bad at that. He was really good against the Warriors in the playoffs. Guarding in space.
That's to the personnel
that is not.
Too, so like, but
I don't want to hear the personnel conversation.
Well, it obviously matters. It matters. It doesn't matter.
It matters tremendously.
But I did
hold
say
on.
Sabusa.
There's no way in hell that you think that if you put Sengun next to guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, that he's going to be able to guard anything close to the way that he does. I'm sorry. I've seen Jokic in lineups where there's Gordon, Brown, and Peyton, and he looks a little bit better. Be honest, he looks a little bit better in those lineups. Okay, because he's not covering for as much. You realize everything funnels downhill. Everything. When you got weak turnstiles defensively on the perimeter, no disrespect to Jamal Murray, not a good defender. No disrespect to Michael Porter Jr., really bad defender, actually. Those two play a bulk of minutes. When you add a third bad defender to that, that's like oh God, man, that's so much pressure on the rim.
Can you
the third bad defender being Jokic? That's the third bad defender is Jokic.
Mars, can you admit this though? When they run those Russ, Christian, Watson, Gordon lineups, like
that's a good
damn
team.
Good. I think that goes to the point of personnel. But I do think Şengün.
He's still not better guarding in space. Like when Jokic gets caught in a switch, they literally double team to get Jokic away from him. When Şengün is guarding in space, they trust him to guard. He's better guarding in space. You can say there's help behind it, absolutely sure. But Şengün, I can't say factually. I don't know if there's stats that prove it. But anyone who I think watches the Rockets can see Şengün can legitimately press up into the ball and move his feet.
He's a smaller, more mobile player. He's a smaller, more mobile player.
Jokic cannot guard in space like Şengün can. Jokic can't make plays at the rim like Şengün.
8 years younger, he's shorter, and he's more mobile.
There's reasons why
way
but that is a part of the conversation. He had a better defensive year this year.
He's also better at the rim. If you want to use those same rim field goal percentage numbers you had for Jakob, Şengün is more impactful defending the rim than Jokic.
I agree. He is
so he's better defending the rim. He's better defending in space. Like your point about Jakob,
but he is worse in pick and roll.
Şengün was the starting center on one of the best defenses in the NBA.
Yeah, well, that goes.
And he played damn near the most minutes on the team. And the defense was amazing with him on the floor.
There's only one bad defender in their upper rotation. That's Jalen Green. That's it.
Absolutely.
What does Jokic look like
if Jokic was in the Rockets rotation, they would have.
I think he'd be
two
much
bad
better.
defenders in it.
No. Do we know the status of Steph Curry yet?
He's not playing.
He's just breaking news just came across. Golden State Stephen Curry has sustained a grade 1 left hamstring strain and will be ruled out of game 2 against Minnesota on Thursday. So the exact return for his timetable is unclear due to the first rehab.
Well, that's the best.
Could be game back.
Grade 1 is best case scenario. So.
It could be game 4.
Yeah.
They're playing every other game. They're playing every other day.
But hold up though, y'all. We're gonna get to this. We are in the middle of something that we gotta finish this.
Stay right here. So Ron, we've established Şengün. The Lakers don't have
a 5-man,
right? The Lakers don't have a 5-man, right? He plays for the Nuggets. How about Zubac? Zubac's
way better.
We can move past that. Yeah.
Rudy is better than him.
Yep.
Yes.
Who? Rudy is better than him.
Well, no. So according to some of y'all, matter of fact, according to the NBA player in here, who would you trust to get a stop in the game? Chill? Huh? According to the NBA player, according to when Austin Day came in here, who would you rather have to stop a possession at the end of a game? The NBA player that made millions of dollars in the league. He said Jokic.
Yeah, he said that something about being about that clutch.
He didn't shake his head like you did either. He said it straight up with his chest.
He did.
I feel like players.
Hey, what about Coach Alderman? Who did he trust?
When?
What you mean when? Game 1
to get a stop.
You know, offense, defense.
No, Jokic had 5 fouls, so they didn't want him to pick up the foul on the free throw.
Yeah, that's exactly why. And then what happened?
That is the exact reason why, Ron. I'm on your side overall with the Jokic conversation right now. But
what happened when they put him back in?
Because the Warriors did the same thing with Draymond.
Did SGA get the ball?
Oh, you glazing Jokic.
He helped. No, they helped. That was what they did. They executed their possession and they won it. They got 2 missed free throws and won the game, Ron. Too bad your dude couldn't do that. All right, next, Joe. Who's next?
Golden State.
His dude did do that.
Draymond did not. Draymond's better.
Golden State. Draymond's clearly better. Post is not better. Looney is not better.
How about Jaren Jackson? How about Jaren Jackson?
Of course,
Jaren Jackson's better.
How about Sabonis?
Zach Edey's better too.
Sabonis is way worse.
Zach Edey's not better defensively than you.
I don't think he's way worse, personally.
I think Zach Edey's a better. I think he's a better rim protector. I think Zach Edey's a better rim protector than Joker.
Well, he is.
And I think he's a better paint presence than Joker.
I'm sorry. Your other guy did hit a game winner yesterday. I meant your actual first guy that you chose in the first round. But that's what.
Well, can we get the Sabonis thing? What is this about? Is this about effort? Because I think Sabonis
is about physics.
Is it? Because I think Sabonis is as bad as Sabonis is, as we like to say. I think he's better at guarding in space than Joker is. Yes, he is.
No, not guarding in space. He's a better rim protector than Jokic is.
Which is
and
crazy.
He's better at guarding in space too.
I don't think so.
They don't.
Actually.
The Sacramento Kings do not rush to Sabonis' aid like they do Joker when he
does
gets
Sabonis get an opportunity to be on an island?
Oklahoma City has done that to him. Not only has Oklahoma City done that to him, the Clippers were doing that to him.
And what happened?
100% the Clippers were doing that. What
And
happened
they scored.
was that who scored?
I'm sorry. I don't think Sabonis is a better.
Whatever team you're
at
bringing
all.
up,
I don't know what you guys are watching. I'm sorry. No way.
You think Şengün's worse, so I don't know what you're watching.
At least I can concede that Şengün got a lot better this year. And maybe I'm not like giving full credit for that development because I credit so much of his development based on the defenders that are so elite around him. Because I actually think that
prize, basically.
No, it's not a consolation prize. I just happen to think Amen Thompson. Like, look, man, I sat here and watched for years as people said Gary Trent Jr. was a good defender because OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes were doing a lot of work. I understand how defense works on a string, and it's a team thing. It's really difficult to isolate offensive individual performances from team offense. It's 10 times harder to do that defensively.
But Pin,
Pin, maybe Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray would be better defenders if they actually had a rim protector with them.
Exactly.
They would.
And I can name
Oh,
a
that's
bunch of
100% true. That's 100% true.
Maybe that team defense will be much better if their big man actually had some real rim deterrence, unlike that bullshit y'all be finding on the internet. Maybe they would have a better defense if they had a big man that they knew that they could cover up for him. You know what I mean? Somebody that
does. They literally did this in
Steph will miss at least 1 week.
Yeah, 1 week.
Not really.
You want to explain why the Sacramento Kings defense was
Jokic?
I don't know what Sacramento Kings defense has to do with this, Pin. I don't play for the Sacramento Kings.
Sabonis.
I'm talking about Jokic.
I'm telling you that Sacramento has two incredible perimeter defenders, or at least two very good perimeter defenders.
Their scheme was to funnel SGA to Jokic, and they did that, and it worked. So they did do that. They did funnel him to Jokic. Like, that's why their defense was good. So I think that's what I'm saying. He gets credit for that. But to your point, Ox, you're objectively 100% correct, which I've told you this. If Jokic was Embiid, the Nuggets defense would be way different and be better. I agree with you. But factually, that's true.
I know you have to agree with that because
I'm objective. I'm objective. You aren't. That's the difference. I can give people credit.
All right, sure.
Okay,
fine. Can we please
first off, you're a Jalen Green stan. I don't want to hear this from you, Mars.
He's not. So he's not. So Joe,
are you saying I'm not objective?
So Joker is not better.
He's talking to me, Pin. He's talking to me, Pin. He's cooking me right now.
Ox is not. You know he's not.
I'm not. All right.
Go ahead, Chill.
So Joker is not better than Davis in Dallas.
Who?
Is he Piper?
No, wait, Lakers?
I don't know.
In Dallas.
He's not better than Lively either.
Swapper. Is Jokic better?
Mars, time out. Let me ask you this. Do you not distinctively remember when we were bringing up, because you were with me on this, look at me, when Anthony Davis' defense was being brought up, the thing Lakers fans were telling us is he has Austin Reeves and 40-year-old LeBron and Dalton Connect. Like, what do you want him to do? Do you not remember that whole thing when we were criticizing the defense? Was that not happening? So what I'm trying to understand is he legitimately had a bad year for his sake, but AD is obviously still better. But AD doesn't get discredited. But he doesn't get discredited for that, though. But I'm saying people put him in conversation with Rudy Gobert and Draymond.
Yeah, he wasn't defending like the best defender in
the
world.
Why would he get?
You said he was a bad defender relative to the league. You were saying he was
relative to himself. He was a bad defender. I'll change it.
Why would he get discredited for being a great defender? Just not as great as he's always been.
He was not a great defender.
Jokic isn't as good of a defender as Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, or Gafford.
Well, Gafford, respectfully,
you're mad at the guy for not getting slandered for being a great
was not a good defender. Like, at any point with the Wizards,
Gafford is more of a shot blocker than a defender.
Yeah, he was never a good defender with the Wizards.
And that's what they need.
Lively and AD.
Because you know why I remember this? Because I remember when Jokic and Embiid were taking turns on him in the regular season, everybody was like, well, all they do is got Gafford. But then when Gafford goes to Dallas with all these shot blockers and defenders, now it's like, oh, look at Gafford. He looks so good.
He was a big reason for their defense being elite at the back half of the season last year.
That's because they ran a funnel to the system, and all you do this.
Swiper,
you still a better defender than Jokic.
I mean, being able to do that is valuable when you're 7 feet tall.
But Jokic does that
bring up Jokic and Embiid,
Jokic does this too.
No, Jokic does this. That's what he does. That's what he does every play.
Mars, it really looks like Jokic.
Yes, I do.
Real quick though, chill, because Mars, it looks like when he does that, Mars, it looks like he wants to look at AG and be like, "Did you see that? like, yo, what was that?
Hey, but he didn't do it versus the
like,
Thunder
whoa,
in game
what was
one.
that?
That's all I know. I know they had a 107 defensive
That's
rating leads
all.
on the court. That's what I do know.
So Ron, I got
Chill. What's next?
Ron, I got 4 more names. I'm gonna run them down really quickly, and I don't think he's better than any of these guys. He ain't better than Klingon. He ain't better than Wemby. He ain't better than Michi, and he ain't better than
Who?
in Utah.
Misi in New Orleans.
He is way better than
He
me.
doesn't do anything, but that's what I'm saying. It's just shot blocking. He doesn't do
But
anything.
respect how high he
That's
jumps.
it.
Respect how high
And then on top of that, if
Look,
we're doing this personnel nonsense, he didn't even look good with Trey Murphy this
I'm
year.
the biggest Eve
Stop
Missy
it.
fan up here. I tell you, I rated that guy as the 10th or 11th best prospect in last year's
Golly.
draft. I'm a really big fan. He is not better than Jokic defensively. He was terrible defensively.
Klingon.
this
We're
year.
just saying, yeah.
Klingon is better.
I
yes.
think he's an all defense player year one. He was that good. He was that
Wemby.
good this year. Of course.
Yes.
Rob
He's the
Will.
best defender in the league.
Walker.
Yes. Well,
Walker
yeah,
Kessler.
I agree.
So
Kessler,
all of these teams that we, all of these teams,
starting finish.
it sounded to me like he's in the middle from listening to
Well,
Is
you.
he better than? Is he better than Luke Cornett?
Who?
As a
Is
defender?
Jokic-
Is he better than
Is Jokic better
Diabate,
than
Mars?
Luke
No.
Cornett?
Defensively,
No,
he better than my good Musa Diabate. He better than my good.
I don't think he's better than Diabate.
Of course you don't.
He's better defensively.
Because, of course you don't. You like jumpers and leapers. You would say Isaiah Jackson's a better defender than Jokic.
Diabate's like 100% effort, like 96% effort, like 4% skill.
Is
that's
Aiden a better
cool.
defender?
What, defensively?
No, but he's not. No,
Who,
overall
Joe?
as a player, but he's
DeAndre
not. He's not very impactful.
No.
Aiton is worse.
Don't even tell me ain't no more. Because I heard
Rob
everybody
Willis
up here talking about
better. Rob Willis better.
I can't defend
Who?
Aiden.
Rob
Rob Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, in the 30 games he plays
Yeah, he better. Yeah,
per minute,
Yeah.
per minute, Mars, he might be a top 10 center.
Mm.
'cause he be playmaking too. He be
Joe, do
shooting
you
the ball
think
this
Luke
year.
Cornett is better?
No.
Let me see. What's the
I'll give you a center that I think is better than nobody thinks is better. Day'Ron Sharp.
Well, you put an agenda piece about him the other day.
I love
Day'Ron
Day'Ron
Sharp's
Sharp.
better.
I love Day'ron Sharp.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Sharp's
Chill.
awesome.
I saw
He's
it
good.
because
I used
love
to be a Day'Ron
I love
Sharp
how
hater,
matter
but
of
yeah,
fact Swiper is though. That's what I dig about. Swiper.
because I saw the tweet. Because you know how I feel about the Nets. Jordy Fernandez. There's 2 guys on the roster. Don't say a Mars that I know that it's going to be out there in free agency that are going to be great additions to the teams. And I'm not putting it out. But Day'Ron Sharp is a good piece. He's a good player.
I like Day'Ron Sharp.
Nick Claxton also had a horrible defensive year this year, by the way. Like
Yeah.
Fellas.
was
Yes,
rest.
he did.
I know we
So
got
he-
Low key back to back years, but
Here's what we're gonna do, fellas. Since we're right here on this game, I need predictions tonight. Pin, I'd ask you, what do you think Jokic is gonna do? But I need overall predictions from everybody on what's gonna happen game 2. We got the Thunder and we got the Nuggets. Do the Nuggets steal another game? Or let me
No.
not put it that way. Do the Nuggets win another game, or do the Thunder bounce back? Joel, I'm gonna start with you. Who you got tonight?
I got OKC bouncing back.
Okay. Big Ox.
I got a Jokic masterclass.
Another
You got
one
the Nuggets
up?
going up 2-0?
So I'm trying
Another
to tell
one. The
y'all,
first one wasn't
yo,
even one in the masterclass.
No, these dudes don't got nothing for
22 and
Jokic, bro.
Shit.
They don't got nothing for Jokic, bro.
So you got a Jokic masterclass in a win or in a
Mhm.
loss? In a win?
Yeah, in a winning effort,
Okay.
yes.
Pin?
Mhm.
OKC.
Okay, see. Mars?
Denver.
Steel?
Oh damn. Am I
OKC.
alone up here? Okay, thank God.
That's OKC.
Swiper?
Look, man, this is gonna be a hell. Everything's on the line game, bro.
If
Jamal
you
Murray
don't
played better.
if you
Hey.
don't pick the Nuggets to win game 2 and you say I told you so again, I'm gonna snap.
But
Well,
hold
there's
on,
no I
no,
told you.
I'm
Swiper.
gonna
Remember,
flip out, Pin.
There's
I'm
no I
gonna
told
lose
you
it.
so.
I'm gonna have a stroke up here,
why
Pin.
am I the only one in this situation? And then Ron is allowed to be a 2-teamer polyamorous person up here whenever he wants. Y'all don't care. Ron can take
What
it,
did you
have it
call
both ways. He has it both ways.
He
Both
said
ways
you're
he gets it.
polyamorous.
But this one right here too. This one.
nah.
This
I don't like where this
What
is
did I
going.
do?
I don't
That's
like where
what
this
I
is
did
going.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not having people up here that's going both ways, so we're gonna just move on. But yeah, Swiper. Actually, we do need your prediction. Who do you got?
Man, I think the Nuggets might win. I think Jamal Murray has a way better game this game. Michael Porter at least has a decent game.
Swiper. Remember what you said though.
Which part?
Remember
Might
you said that
win.
you said that you thought that the Nuggets were gonna lose game 1 initially, and you said that they'll probably bounce back and win game 2.
If only
did.
Jamal Murray played well, we could win this game.
Well, he didn't relative to what I think he could have done, especially the turnovers, because it was just a throwing the ball away thing. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, they didn't even play well in the first game. And like, if they get down to a close game again,
Did the Thunder play well though?
I think they play better than Denver the whole game. Like objectively, they play better. They won the turnover battle. They won the shooting battle. They won the points after. Well, not the points in the paint with Denver. Fast break points with Denver, I think. Yeah,
Chet Holmgren was invisible, man. I expect a much better game from him. I don't think y'all can handle him.
Chet Holmgren. I don't even think he would make the list of players that's been the most difficult for Denver to cover. But he is a really good player, though. He's a very good player. I do expect Jamal Murray and Porter to have better games today, though.
If he starts splashing threes, I think it completely changes the dynamics of the court for them offensively, and it really opens up driving lanes for Shea. And we have already established y'all don't have rim protection.
Well, we've already said though. We talked about this already when you weren't here. Dort, Caruso, and Chet, they can do whatever they want. Like because they're the last option is going to be them in terms of like who we're flying out to. So they're going to take those gambles, especially on Caruso and on Chet. Caruso made 5 threes last time, and Dort made three threes.
He started off poor and then got a rhythm going.
Yeah, he started hitting them. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. Like they're gonna. That's what I'm saying. The boxes and elbows with Shea, they're going to show shadows at Shea the entire. You're not just going to get in the paint easy. So at that point, it's like we're going to rotate to J-Dub. We're going to rotate to everybody else. But Case and Wallace, Chet, Dort, Caruso, those are the 4 they're gambling on.
I think we're going to have to start cutting. We're going to make it something.
And I think the difference too, Swiping, you and I had this conversation not too long ago. Y'all got to do a better job in taking care of basketball.
Yeah,
I stopped counting after
18 turnovers. Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped counting after the 7 turnovers and 14 points, and I thought that was going to be the difference in the series. You guys got to do a better job in taking care of basketball. I can't just rely on Joker to go 40 and 20 or 35 and 15 and just expect that to be enough. No, you guys got Jamal Murray got to do a better job in taking care of basketball, and on top of that, your shot selection has to be different because just as much as you turn the ball over, a bad shot can be the equivalent to a turnover.
Let me ask you a
100%.
question based on how the playoffs have gone because this is a different season now. Do the Nuggets is their top 6 better than OKC's top 6 in the playoffs?
Have they played better?
The way
how you're playing
as of right now because they weren't. I mean, a while ago, no, that wasn't going on. But
it's not bad.
Today
they're not playing better in the playoffs. You don't think? Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, it could be.
No.
I mean, I think Russ. I think we can have a conversation about Russ being just as good as any rotation player that you have on Oklahoma City right now. I think Russ has been great.
He's saying Caruso is not a rotation player.
Sure, but that's not the question. The question is who's been playing better.
Jokic
as a unit.
Jokic is playing the best. Then it would be Shea.
Yes. Shea has not been playing the best, Mars. He's a better player.
Well, first round, it was J-Dub. It was J-Dub in the first round.
100% it was.
Sure,
it was
sure. Okay, Jokic.
He's the better player.
But then if J-Dub played better than Shea, okay, but then if J-Dub played better than Shea, then J-Dub played better than everyone else on OKC. I mean, on Denver.
Right.
So then they would have J-Dub second and then what? Shea third?
No, I think
unless you're saying Aaron Gordon or something played better than Shea. Which at that point, then I think
no. But I think your first analysis is fine.
I'm not going to say I'm not going to say that Aaron Gordon played better than Shea, but I am going to say that Aaron Gordon played damn good. I would say
he played amazing.
I would say like top 5 of these guys of these two teams. I think he's one of the 5 best players. But as a collective, I think
OKC would have 4 of the top 6.
I think Oklahoma City's group has played better as a collective.
So that's Caruso, Dub, Chet, SJ.
Yeah,
as a collective, I think that's how they handle
it would be Yoke, and then after all those 4 would be Murray.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon. I don't know how I feel because Jamal Murray's offense has been inconsistent and Aaron Gordon's defense has been really good. So if it was top 7, then it would be
his offense was really good too.
If it was top 7, it would be 4-3, but 6 it would be 4-2.
That's interesting.
Well,
it's interesting.
All right, y'all. Well, we will see about tonight, and also tonight. Y'all need to see about something because we are going to be on Playback. And if you aren't there, I don't know where the hell you're going to be. But I know one thing. We're going to be in the TDE Garden watching the New York Knicks pull up to try to win Game 2 against the Boston Celtics. So y'all come through, have a good old grand old time with us, and we'll see you there at tip-off. In the meantime, though, y'all, we got a couple super chats. So we're going to talk about these. And also, we still have to get to this Warriors versus Wolves game, and we got to talk about the Steph Curry injury and what it means to the series as a whole. But before we do that, my man Arch chimed in and said, Penn cooking, and I agree.
Embiid is a lover of Penn. Didn't know that.
Shout out Arch, whether you're Embiid or whether you're Bam Adebayo.
Get that knee surgery, man. Need you back next year, man. So fast.
If he does the Kawhi, is he healthy enough for playoffs next year? Like plays 37 games, Mars?
I'd hope so. I don't know what Embiid got going on, but I just want to see one healthy postseason run from Embiid. I'll live with the results, kind of like the Kawhi situation. Whatever happens, happens. I just want to see a healthy postseason.
All right, Hunter sent through a super chat. Hunter said, "I've seen enough. Nuggets versus Pacers finals will feed families."
This is Ox. Is the NBA, has it gotten close enough to like March Madness where if you get hot at the right time? I think the Heat were 2 years ago. The Mavericks were last year. Is it possible that if you just get hot at the right time in the NBA playoffs now, with the way like talent has kind of like evened out?
You got to be the better team more often than not. I think in March Madness is so much. It's harder and easier at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get hot, you know. So I can't really call it, but it doesn't. I don't think it's at that level now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you
got to sustain it for what, like a week and a half. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Like
6 weeks total. Yeah.
Yeah, right. 6 weeks total is right for the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Just like and that's crazy. I'm talking about just a series. You know what I'm saying? Just one series. You know what I mean? Like that's. If you run through a team, I think if you run through a team in the NBA playoffs, that's the better team.
If the Pacers
winning in seven is
finals,
possible.
How much more does Haliburton have to do to be a better pacer all time than Reggie Miller?
All right, y'all.
All
right. I got a disappointment.
No, you good, Ox. You good. So I do understand, Joe, how
oh my gosh,
championships change things. I do.
For you,
right? I do. I do understand how understand how championships change things, but something has to be said for how long you play for an organization and how awesome you are for that organization while you played there. I can appreciate the logic of you winning 100% because I care about that too, right? But if we're doing that, then we got to keep that same energy. Like Kawhi Leonard is the best Raptor of all time.
You can make an argument.
I argue this already.
We have to keep that set for 1 year. He's the best Raptor of all time. LeBron James is the best Miami Heat of all time.
No,
like if we exactly.
But Dwayne Wade won without LeBron.
Yeah, that's not comparable. Which one franchise first ever championships? Indiana. Well, Indiana have ABA championships, NBA championships.
Right.
But also
Minnesota,
Reggie Miller
first ever championship. That's why it's different than the Miami Heat. LeBron is the best player to ever play for the Heat. Dwayne Wade is the Heat's greatest ever player. He was
right. I get that.
That's why it's different than a Haliburton and Reggie Miller situation.
You know what though, Joe? With things like, because let me rewind for a second. Because with things like what happened last night, those type of epic shot type performances are what will boost a player. You know what I'm saying? Like that's going to be nostalgic for everybody in 10, 15, 20 years. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Remember that? Y'all remember that game one when Tyrese hit the boom, got it, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I know
he's got a list of those things.
Right. I know. I understand. And that's why when Joel said what he said, I initially was like, hell no, I don't want to talk about it. But I don't want to be that get off my lawn guy. You know what I'm saying? I want to actually have this conversation. I think Tyrese Haliburton's putting together the resume to eventually be in those talks, but I think it's going to take a little more time, though, Joe. I think
it will take time.
About at least 8 more seasons.
So if he wins Finals MVP this year, Chill, you're saying like Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Has he passed Paul George?
Wait, you talking about winning the championship?
Yeah, so
hang
Chill.
on. Baby steps.
As he should. No, as he should.
No, because
I don't think that's what Joe said.
No, Chill.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Is the awards merchant.
If he made the finals, if he won a championship,
we had a whole week.
If he wins the championship, that's different.
Tyrese Haliburton wins Eastern Conference MVP.
Oh, Reggie Miller made the finals.
Yeah, I got to keep the same. I got to keep the same energy I had with the KG situation. I can't
like
just
to clarify. I'm not saying that Tyrese would pass Reggie Miller. I think he has to do way more in his career. But I also was looking at Reggie Miller's career: 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA player. In 10 more seasons with Haliburton playing on the Pacers, can he pass those amount of All-Star appearances and All-NBA appearances and have a couple of deep postseason runs?
Do you think Haliburton's a better player than Reggie Miller?
No.
Well,
why?
Right.
Just right now, just Reggie Miller shooting is a separator for me, but I don't know. You can make an argument.
But Hali's a better offensive player than Reggie Miller.
You can make an argument. And I like that you brought that up because, I mean, Reggie Miller, he was great, but the most he averaged in a season was 25.
So?
And
that's first of all, that's good. First of all, 25 points per game.
I didn't know Reggie averaged 25. I thought he averaged like 21. I didn't know he averaged 25.
It was in his third season, but then after that, it was more like 22, 21. But in the playoffs, he was at 21.
Yeah, 24-6.
And in the playoffs, I'm looking at his playoffs numbers. He was at 21 his first time in the playoffs. Then he was at 22, then 27, then 32, then 23, then 26, then 29. So he had some incredible playoff runs.
You got to get us the number of games and competition. Chill.
Yeah.
If Hali wins,
they made deep conference finals.
Hold on, Mars. If Hali wins Finals MVP, why is he not above Reggie Miller all time based on the awards
today? Well, this is what you're doing, Swiper, which really bothers me because what you try to do when I say one thing, you take that one thing and you stick on it. I don't think that awards are the end all be all. I don't think that. I do care about accolades, but I don't just care about accolades. I care about longevity. I care about how long you did stuff. I care about when you did stuff. You just hear me talk about accolades, and immediately, if he wins a championship, that puts him above him. So if that's the case, then why do I think LeBron James is the best ever?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Haliburton is
because I don't just value championships. That's why.
Okay. Haliburton
so when did LeBron
but he's not.
When did LeBron pass Reggie Miller? When was LeBron a better player than Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller?
Yeah.
All time?
Yeah.
It's for chill.
It might have been pretty soon.
Well, Reggie Miller played 20 years.
He did. He did play 20 years. To be honest with you, I never really thought about a LeBron James and Reggie Miller conversation. But if you're gonna bring that up,
year 4 or 5.
Maybe I was thinking by like year 7, year 6. Like
when did Dwayne Wade pass Reggie Miller? Because they're both shooting guards, so maybe that's more relevant.
It took him this many.
But 06 was Dwayne Wade better than Reggie Miller?
It took him this many.
Okay.
No.
09. 09 was Reggie Miller. Was Dwayne Wade better than Reggie Miller?
See, I was thinking about 12.
12 years.
No, not 12 years. By 2012. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
by 2012, and it wasn't just the championship, right? It wasn't just the championship, but when I think about what Dwayne did, what Wade did, how he affected not just in the regular season, the consistency, the bucket getter that he was, how versatile he was on offense, how great he was on defense, and how it translated into the playoffs consistently for him. And then when I think about what Reggie Miller did, and then I think about the moments that Reggie Miller had when we got later on in the season compared to what Dwayne Wade did, like by year 8, like around 12, I could firmly say I think he's better than Reggie Miller. Yes.
But y'all do know, like, as much as some of you guys hate to admit it, winning a championship and getting Finals MVP, which in order to do that, you have to put on a spectacular performance. We can go down a long list. For the most part, these guys that we're talking about, if Haliburton was to win Finals MVP, and I'm projecting, and I'm assuming Haliburton's going to average like.
I'm telling you, this is the shit that's going to happen. I'm telling you, this is the shit that I'm going to have to listen to.
For Haliburton to win it, just hear me out, chill.
I'm listening.
For Haliburton to win Finals MVP, them to knock off the Celtics, who you guys think is impossible,
or the Knicks.
Who you got? I'm gonna just put the Celtics out there. Who
make their own bets. Nice.
Who you guys think is impossible for them to do that, and then turn around and beat OKC or whoever comes out the West? But I'm gonna say OKC, which you guys would think is impossible.
Let's say Denver. He beats Jokic.
No, I want to say OKC. I want to make it impossible.
No, he needs to do it again.
I want to make it impossible. So for Haliburton to do that, he's probably going to average somewhere upwards of 25 and let's say 11. 25 and 11.
Yeah, of course he is.
We can say 20. We can say 22 and 10 then. We can say 22 and 10.
Tyrese Haliburton lore.
Just say creating it. Great. You don't need to put a number.
Let's put a number on it and let's say he played great.
This ain't 2K, Ron.
He's gonna have you're the one to bring up 2K all the time. I don't even play 2K.
All the time.
But let's say
Round to
20
round.
Y'all
let's say
talking about
2020
video games
This
again?
ain't
Hey,
2K.
let's say
games?
22
I play
and 10,
NBA Live 19.
and let's say he plays great.
Y'all
You guys
talking about
do
video
know that
games.
raises Haliburton into those conversations, like it
Yeah.
or not, like it or not.
But yeah, I
It
mean, that's how
does.
that's how
If-
legacy talks work.
It
like,
brings
when-
Indiana their first championship ever. I think
NBA
that
championship.
yeah, NBA championship ever. It
NBA
props
doesn't
them
count.
up
We've gone
to
over
number
this.
one, I think, because it's just so much. It's so
Okay,
meaningful.
legacy
It's so
doesn't count.
meaningful winning a championship. That I just think winning a championship is just so important to a legacy of a player that he can go over other players that haven't won one, even if they made the finals. Just winning it is really important.
We said the same thing.
But we don't got to worry about that though, y'all. Like
18
this,
years.
we don't got to worry
But yeah,
about
this
that.
is,
Right?
this is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
very,
yeah, haters.
very hypothetical.
No, but I was looking
Are
at
they not
Reggie
up
Miller.
2-0,
Are they not
Y'all
up
gonna
2-0
see.
versus the number one seed in the Eastern Conference?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Listen,
okay.
come on, man. Come
Joel,
on,
let me
come on,
ask you this
Spider.
objective question: Which
Yeah.
player winning a championship on the Hali front? Which player winning a championship would be the most overrated by winning a championship and a Finals MVP based off like this run? Like which player has the potential to be the most overrated?
That's currently in the playoff landscape.
Yeah,
No one on OKC or Denver, because I think SGA is him. I think Jokic is him. Well, he said overrated. Like they'll get overrated.
So that you aren't gonna hear Jokic's top 5 all time if Denver win.
I
No,
think
we-
top,
we-
I think
we-
top. I think
we're
top
top
15 or all time, maybe pushing like the 10th spot.
Top
yeah,
10.
you,
I'm
already there.
they will say Jokic's top 5.
But Jokic's peak is so amazing that like I don't know.
Don't think
he's
that's
already
overrated.
top 10 for
Okay,
me
he
though. I've
just
already
doesn't
said
think
this
that's
multiple
overrated.
times.
Yeah,
the,
so
the answer is probably Steph, but you know.
no, yeah. Steph, he's probably gonna get in the like the GOAT. He's gonna be in the GOAT discussion.
Brunson.
What's going to happen if
And-
what's
Anthony
going to
Edwards gonna
since
chip
Oh,
in.
and Edwards.
since you brought up wait a minute. Since
I think
you guys
it is
brought up-
Edwards and Hali.
Are you sure? Because since you just brought up championships and finals MVPs, what's the conversation going to be on Jayson Tatum?
Well, he'll
For
be
you,
overrated
it's gonna be
sure.
nonsense.
Yeah, you'll be
For everyone else, it's
overrated
gonna be
like a
fine.
dog.
But okay,
I
so
need
for
to
me,
break
it's
them
gonna
up.
be nonsense.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
you're gonna be
if the
saying
Denver-
nonsense.
me-
Everyone
okay,
else gonna be
it's
like,
gonna
yeah,
be-
Jayson Tatum good.
Sure, it's going to be nonsense for me. Meanwhile, if the Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship, top 5 talks for Joker. That's
But
legit.
chill, you realize?
That's
Nonsense too,
legit.
what you got mad at me for?
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
but
I
chill.
think that's nonsense too.
But
And-
making,
and not
making
only
an
that,
argument for
not-
top
not
10 for
only
Joker
that,
is
not
vastly
only
different
that,
than
I want to
saying
make sure that
Tatum
we
is
stay
the
on
best
this
in the
because
world.
Ox, I'm 100% confident, Ox, that I heard that if the Minnesota Timberwolves win the NBA championship this year and Anthony Edwards wins Finals MVP, he is better than KG. I heard that.
No,
Yo,
he's
I
the
just-
greatest
I
Timberwolves.
wanna-
That's what you heard.
I want to
Wait,
put this
but
out there.
real quick, more Ron, because Swiper, I think Swiper's saying that Jokic has more action at being top 5 all time.
Top 10. I said
Then-
top 10.
Okay, top 10 all
But you
time.
already
than
have
Jayson
him top
Tatum
10.
does having.
Yeah, but I'm
Than
saying
Jayson
I'm saying
Tatum does
consensus.
at being best in the
Kevin Durant has
world.
Top 10 too, to be clear.
Tatum's
but-
never finished top 3 in MVP voting.
Yeah, that's a stretch. That- I'm
Why
saying
y'all
that's a
see
big
all
stretch.
day? I keep hearing y'all talking about voters and voting.
They
this and
care
this
about
Reggie
these
Miller
votes.
never
that
finished
team.
top
They
10
care
in
about
But
these
people
MVP
are
voting.
voting
That
for
matters.
it.
Talk about Tatum,
Oh my
care about
God.
stats.
But Jokic
points,
is a
rebounds,
3-time
assists, and
MVP.
awards.
You can't compare Tatum to
Should be a
like
four-time
Jokic.
Even, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's not
Should
the
be
same
a
conversation.
0-time MVP, but you know.
Come on,
Fellas,
bro.
I just want to put this out there.
Should
You
grab a
guys can't
DPOY
wait.
while we're at
Wait,
it.
Pin,
These
no,
dudes, are good enough at basketball that we don't have to talk about things that are voted on.
Sure.
I agree.
By the way,
No, yes.
don't-
Swiper, stop.
don't
Don't do that shit, bro.
don't
Like,
get chill riled up on Tatum, bro.
Ox has come to the bright side, man. I
But
love
Jokic
it.
is much better
I've
at
been
basketball.
over
than Tatum.
here. I don't
I
care about
agree.
what people vote on.
I agree with Ox, but I'm saying the chill for the chill.
You don't because
in
it's
the
not.
Tatum.
It's not notifying the conversation enough.
By talking about voters, I like MVPs.
Stop notifying basketball. Swiper.
Jordan should have more MVPs.
I'm not going to nerdify basketball with this.
Karl Malone?
I just simply want to point out
Yeah.
this.
No.
The gap between Tatum and Jokic is so large that I would rather have Jokic than Tatum and Brown.
He ain't lying.
Easily.
I mean, yeah, I would too, but
I don't think there's anyone up here who
What?
disagrees with that.
Yes, there
except
is.
for
I
us.
died
Yes, there
strongly.
is.
That
Yes,
is
there
dumb as hell.
He said,
I was like,
Ron, I just heard him say he will take
That's some of the
Ron, I
goofiest
just
shit I've
heard
ever heard.
Ron, I just want to
if
make sure
you told me I
I
could
just
build my
heard him.
team, I could start building my team with either Jokic or Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I'm choosing Jokic.
I
Here
want
we go.
Jayson
I'm not
Tatum
mad
and
at
Jaylen Brown without a doubt.
I'm
Two
not
All
taking-
Stars.
I'm
Yo,
not taking 60 plus
Chill,
50
chill,
million.
level players.
Jokic
I'm
is
asking what's the
$50
gap
million.
between Tatum and Jokic.
I'm not
for a
taking
month.
110
You just found out.
I'm not saying that taking that trade is crazy. I don't think taking a trade is crazy. What I think is crazy is trying to actually quantify that Jokic is Jaylen Brown better than Jayson Tatum. Like that's
Bro,
that's like the gap. Like Penn trying to say that the gap between these two is as good as Jaylen Brown. That's where I'm losing it. I'm not losing it off the fact that you would take that trade. I think most of us would at least sit down and think that over. You know what I'm saying? That's not a crazy trade.
Okay,
if because we're talking ball. This ain't 2K, right? Penn, this is football.
Let's level
But
out
the fact
for you,
that you're trying to convince us that
I'm
Jaylen Brown can
building
squeeze
with
through that gap, I don't believe Jaylen Brown can walk through that gap.
But
That's what I'm
but now let's say Jokic and Aaron Gordon or Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Let's lower
No,
it.
we're not doing that.
You don't need to
Well,
lower
no, because
it.
we're doing a role player. We're now adding a role player, not an all
players.
No. We're talking about trades. The trade conversation. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the gap. I'm talking about what Penn is trying to prove right here. Let's not get confused by what Penn's trying to do. Penn's not talking about trade like a trade. He's trying to get y'all to think that
He's saying
the
there's
gap
a Jaylen
is
Brown
that
size
big.
gap.
He's trying to tell y'all
It
that
is
the
that
gap
big.
is 20. What is 23 and 7 or whatever Jaylen Brown is.
Well,
That's what
not
he's
how
trying.
basketball works.
Yeah,
Come
let
on
me
now.
ask you, OG, do you
I know
think-
that's not how basketball works, Penn. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're trying to say that that's what the gap is.
OG,
Yeah.
Yo, right quick, Joe. Hey, Joe, who would you rather take?
Yeah,
Would you rather take?
I get what Alex is saying.
Would you
Okay,
rather
hang
take
on.
Jokic or
I'm taking-
Jaylen Brown and
hang
Jayson
on.
Tatum?
Right-
Hold on,
right
Penn.
now-
Let him answer this question. Hold on, Penn. Let him
He's
answer
a
this
Knicks
question.
fan. He's a Knicks fan, right? So right now, you could have either Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown just imported onto the Knicks roster, or you could have Jokic. Which of those two things?
Jokic.
So there you go. There's your fucking gap.
See, but that's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? You see what he's trying to do? Like, yes, I understand that. Those are two different things, Penn. Like you said, this isn't 2K.
The financial aspect. No.
Throw the finances out. I'm just talking about.
That's what Mars is
players.
talking about. Mars is talking about the
I know.
money.
I get that.
Jaylen
I
Brown
get
makes
that.
60 million. Jayson Tatum makes like 40, or I can get Jokic for 50 million.
Forget
Okay,
the finances.
that's understandable. If you're
Forget
talking
the
about
finances.
that, cool. I'm just talking about players.
I'm
Yes.
just talking about
I'm
players
talking
too.
about players.
I'd
talking about
rather
players
have
too.
Jokic. I'll figure it out with him, and that's what I'm going with.
So why haven't
Yeah,
the
well,
Nuggets
well,
been able to
well,
figure it
well,
out?
Ron, I'm with you.
Championship.
Well,
that's
you need a
big
team,
also,
Ron.
and we
You
know
need a
moves.
team. That's the whole point.
No, Ron, I'm with you. I'm not making
But
that
Jaylen
trade.
Brown and
either.
JT
I'm not
didn't win
mad at
anything
anybody
before they
else.
got
I'm
Drew
not- I'm
Holiday,
not-
Derek White, and KP either. So
I'm
that's
not mad at
you
anybody
obviously
else
know
for
a
making
team.
They
that
got way
trade.
further in the playoffs than y'all did.
Who's y'all? Who is y'all? They made.
They
the
got way
Western Conference
further than Denver did.
Finals. They both made the Western Conference Finals. What are you
More
talking
than
about?
once. More than once.
Because of the team and the conference. Chill. Do you want to do the
But
Eastern Conference versus the West?
the two
Would you like to do the
constants-
East
there was
versus
there
the
was
West?
two constants
Would you
that was
like to
there,
do the
though.
East versus the West?
There was a constant that was there. Both Jason
What
Tatum
does that
and
mean?
Jaylen Brown
Versus the
Both-
Eastern Conference. Yes,
Once
I
again,
agree. I
once
agree.
again,
I 100%
there was
agree.
a constant.
I 100% agree.
Jokic is
Chill.
disappointing.
Right now, if
You know,
Jokic was in the Eastern Conference in 2021 and got a chance to play versus the Hawks, would they not have gotten to the finals?
We wouldn't have seen the Hawks.
Who they? I mean, that's
They
who.
would've seen
It was
Milwaukee.
the Bucks. And it
They
was the
would have
Hawks.
seen Milwaukee.
That's who played.
They
the
would have
Eastern
seen
Conference Finals.
Milwaukee.
And
They
then
would've
last
seen
year,
Milwaukee.
you had an injured Pacers team in
They would've
the
seen
what,
Milwaukee.
Eastern Conference Finals. That's the East.
Oh my gosh, hope y'all won the
That's the
championship
East.
because Jason Tatum rolled his ankle. If Jason Tatum's ankle wasn't broke, they beat the Heat and beat the shit out of y'all. Please stop.
Before that, you had
And not only
The
that,
Celtics were going to beat the shit out of y'all.
of none of those teams will make it in the West.
This is
None
what
of them.
Swiper will do. Swiper will tell you some of the stories.
Ignore that they would've
Swiper
got
will
ass
lead.
beat
Swiper,
in 2022.
yeah, that's what he'll do, Ox. What he'll do is he'll leave out very integral parts of the story. Like he'll leave out the fact that when y'all played Minnesota in round one, Cat had missed 2/3 of the season when y'all saw them. He'll take out the fact that Kawhi,
and then they play
he'll-
versus the
he'll-
Lakers.
I'm not done. He'll take
That
out
was
the
the
fact
first
that
round.
Kawhi. He'll take out that Kawhi Leonard,
You picked the
who was
Lakers
looking
that
like
year.
who was looking like the best player in the playoffs, got
Who?
hurt, so he was
Who?
done.
Who? When? What year?
The year that you guys won the NBA championship,
Kawhi Leonard looked like what?
when he got hurt.
Kawhi
He
Leonard
got
got
hurt.
21.
No, he got hurt in 20. He got hurt in 23 after 2 games.
You talking about the
Yes,
1.5
and he was
game
looking like the
versus
best
Suns?
player in the playoffs
Yes, yes.
when they
The
played.
Suns were the
when they-
favorite to make it out of the West after the
and they
KD
were
trade.
and they were going to lose,
And
had
they were
Kawhi Leonard not gotten hurt because
It
he
was the
looked like
third quarter in the
And on
first off.
top
No,
of
I
that,
remember
that's
this.
a bold
I remember this.
assumption. I mean,
It was the third quarter in game two. Game two, they were down
Such
10
nonsense,
points
man.
to the Suns. 10 points. And then the injury happened. I remember this. I saw it. That didn't change the series. They still would have beat them because they had Russell Westbrook as the number 2 player. They were going
And
to
he
win
was-
that series
and
anyway.
they were playing great. And they were
not. Respectfully, they were not.
That's
The
disrespectful.
non-Kawhi minutes, they were getting destroyed.
The
Just-
series was
No,
like,
Russ-
the
Russ
series
had
was
99 in that
and
series.
the non-Joker minutes,
And
you
then they had a
guys
better
get
team.
destroyed.
The
And the
Suns had a better
non-Joker
team.
minutes that you get, and you got some nerve talking about, and you got some nerve talking about the Eastern Conference when you had to deal with DeAndre Ayton in the Western Conference
What does
semifinals,
that mean?
who you ate his lunch, right? Don't leave him out. Don't leave him out. So again,
The Suns were better than any of those teams in the Eastern Conference. What are you talking about? The Suns were better than the Hawks. Chill. No, chill. Don't talk into the mic. The Hawks played the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
2/3 of the season. We already heard from.
I wish.
we already heard from Brown.
I
that
wish
was your
Trey
toughest
Young
series.
and Clint
Then
Capella were in
you
the Western
ultimately-
Conference Finals.
Then you ultimately have to play against. Phoenix, where you took advantage of Kevin Durant
took advantage
on
of Kevin
switches.
Durant.
You took advantage of Kevin Durant on switches, and I feel like you destroyed him. No doubt, is as good as Devin Booker was playing. I'm not going to argue that point. And then you get to the Western Conference Final. Who did they play in the Western Conference Final that year? They played the Lakers. Yeah, they played the Lakers, and you had to play against. Swept the Lakers. Okay, so now.
What team in the East was
And
better than them? What team in the East was better than them?
And that's it. And that's
what team in the East was
I'm not
better
done.
than them?
And that's I'm not done.
So then the East was better than them.
So then in 2022, so then in 2024, the Celtics, they marched to the NBA Finals because they dealt with some injuries, just like you guys dealt with some injuries. Yes, just like you guys dealt with injuries.
Player in every series.
So Kawhi Leonard is out for the playoffs. Not only
Chill. You keep running through it. They missed the best player in every one of the series they played in.
Cat misses 2/3 of the season.
Chill, you're not good at this. You're not good at this, Chill. They had the number one option hurt in every series.
Which is their toughest series. Cat misses 2/3 of the series.
Oh, damn, they did.
Yeah.
What happened?
Cat misses.
Jimmy Butler was hurt too.
Yes, Jimmy Butler was hurt. Yeah, Jimmy Butler
beat the Celtics that year, though.
Okay, now
your guys, they lost to a hurt Jimmy Butler. Jimmy got hurt in the second round that year, and they still lost to him. So what does that mean?
Jimmy Butler got hurt in the second round.
In the Knicks series, he missed games.
Oh yeah,
he then played in the Eastern Conference Final versus your bum Celtics, and they got beat. No,
and we've already had this conversation that had
they were down 3-0.
Had Jayson Tatum not rolled,
they were down 3-0 with Tatum on the floor,
and they came back and they tied the series.
They came back because of a Derek White game winner.
Make sure you why they came back. They came back. They came back and they came back and they won.
What does Tatum have to do with that play?
And they came back and they tied the series. Yeah, they came back and they tied the series. But here's the thing that I want you to remember, Ox. I want you to remember, Ox, that this is
so Derek White saved you from losing in 7 to not losing in 5.
And
I got you.
You had role players who did the same thing.
Which one? Which one?
How
about?
No,
we're doing 23. We're doing 23.
We're 100% doing 23.
Which role player won a game? Which role player won a game?
How about your boy Brown taking Russell
won the game
against the Lakers? Yes.
Won the game.
How about that? Taking him out of the series.
out of the series.
Taking D'Lo out of the series. It's the same D'Lo. Why is this funny? Well, I'm confused. Why would
you not go straight to Jamal Murray playing like the greatest superstar of all time?
I'm not even talking about Jamal Murray.
I love Jamal. He's not a top 20 guard in PC though. So that's cool with me.
We're talking about
exactly, and he was playing like one though.
But no, we don't have to talk about Jamal Murray. We're talking about role players because that's what we brought up.
Yeah, we're talking about JT and JB. We're talking about JB and JT. That's why.
So Brown completely taking Russell, who is a starter.
Why do you keep saying D'Angelo Russell?
Yes, you're laughing.
Player on the roster.
Laughing at D'Angelo Russell is disgusting. That's a former All-Star. Put some respect on D'Angelo.
Wait, so the Nuggets beat 3 All-Stars in that run on one team?
Former All-Star.
All right, got you. Well, technically, LeBron, AD, and Russ are all former All-Stars on that team. They got swept.
This is the same Denver Nuggets team who benefited from guys getting injured, just like
which player? Which player?
It's not comparable. Like it's really not.
Why is
Jimmy Butler was hurt, Donovan Mitchell was hurt, Jarrett Allen was hurt, and Tyrese Haliburton was hurt.
And all of those dudes.
And your comparisons were Karl Anthony Towns got hurt in the regular season and came back for the playoffs.
Missed 2/3 of the season.
Your other comparison was Kawhi Leonard, who the Nuggets didn't even have to play against his team,
which they would have had to see him because I think they would have beaten Phoenix.
It was 1-1. You're acting like the Clippers were just steamrolling the Suns.
I didn't say that they were steamrolling. They still would have had to see them.
Why did they still would have had to see them? How do you know the Clippers were going to win? It was
how do you know that they
1-1.
weren't going to win? How do you know that they weren't going to win? We don't know that.
No one's saying who was going to win. You can't
And
say.
on top of that,
the Nuggets benefited from injuries because Kawhi got hurt when the Nuggets didn't see the Clippers.
Oh my god!
Man, you see what y'all did? You see what y'all did?
I don't see Chill. I don't know where he went.
You see what y'all did?
The benefit from injuries was the same when one team literally had to play teams that weren't playing their best players, whereas the other team had to play a team that was playing his best players. And your argument is, well, he came back from injury at the end of the regular season. So he was like, how is that comparable in anyone's brain? How is Kawhi being hurt?
Y'all gonna feel this tomorrow. When Chill pull up, y'all gonna feel it.
The series was 1-1 when Kawhi went down. Kawhi went down and the Clippers were losing the game in which he got hurt. It was a 1-1 series.
Right.
Like, you can't just assume the Clippers were going to win. You can't say, oh, well, the Nuggets benefit.
I can't assume that they were going to lose neither. But I can't assume that they were going to lose neither. But I can't assume that they were going to. Was Kawhi? Wait. Stop right there.
The Celtics saw the Cavs about Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen. The Celtics saw the Pacers about Haliburton. Those are guaranteed things that happened. The Clippers may have seen the Nuggets. They may have. We don't know that. What we do know is the Celtics factually saw hurt teams. That's what they factually saw.
Okay, so they factually saw them, and they destroyed them with those guys out of the lineup. You and I have already had this conversation of what they did against that Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler out of the lineup. Jimmy Butler is not...
Another assumption.
Okay, that's fine. You got it.
You can't compare them. They're not comparable.
You got it.
I will say, I think the Nuggets,
I might have
the
to get the
Lakers,
PCL belt again because I just put someone you right there.
You got it.
I might have to. I don't know.
No problem.
The Lakers were the best team that the Nuggets played in that playoff run, and I think that is arguably better than any team the Celtics played outside of the Mavericks in the finals. Not only in the run that they won a championship, but when they made the NBA, or the year before, I should say, when y'all were talking about when they lost to the Celtics in the ECF, I will say that I don't think that Sixers team was a walk in the park with Harden and Embiid. I thought that was a good team.
Yes, they were.
It went 7 games.
Collapsed.
And I think that Sixers team is better than that Suns second round team that you guys played.
The way Devin Booker was playing?
Chris Paul got hurt in that series. The starting lineup, let's just be real. In game 6, the starting lineup for the Suns was Landry Shamet, Devin Booker, KD, and Jock Landale. And I'm forgetting who the other player was that started.
Meanwhile, Donovan Mitchell played in that series. Donovan Mitchell actually played in the series.
2 games.
When the
games,
right?
And also Devin Booker.
He got hurt in that series. No, wait. Hold on, Joe.
He still played in the series.
Joe, hold on. Because hold on, Mars.
He still played in the series. Just like Cat played in the series. Just like Cat played in the series.
But that's what I'm saying. The Devin Booker and Kevin Durant were the 2 best players on the team. Donovan Mitchell was the best player on the team, and Jarrett Allen didn't play at all. Why is that comparable to losing DeAndre Ayton and then Chris Paul? Why is that comparable?
It's comparable because if he had played just like DeAndre Ayton played, we still would have beat them.
Fellas, I got to get to these super chats. I need y'all to stick with me. Me and Mars have a meeting right after this, and we have to leave punctually today. So I need y'all to lock in and be on the same page.
Let's do it.
All right, let's make it happen. All right. First off, shout out to Average Joe. He sent through a super chat and said Joker could average 40 and 20 as long as 2 of the 3, Murray, Brown, and Westbrook, do not come along for the ride. Then OKC is fine. Those are the guys who will beat you. Are those the role
imagine
players?
that? So imagine that it's not only your best player; like the other players are doing it too.
Yeah, we all agree with that. We've been trying to tell you that about Jayson Tatum, but you don't seem to listen.
I listen.
So yeah, we agree with that. Oh, you seem to ignore it.
No, I don't ignore it because I recognize how good the Boston Celtics are with Jayson Tatum on the team.
But yeah, if they win,
the rest of them
the best in the world. So.
You do the same thing with your favorite player too, Mars.
Who's my favorite player?
You already for the streets. We already know what that.
Yeah,
is.
So who is my? You gotta think I do the same thing. Who's my favorite player? Who do I do that for?
Well, you flip flop every. You.
Yeah. So who do I do that
for? Let's see. Who is your favorite? Who is your favorite player this year?
You tell me.
That's a good question.
Who did I say if they win, they have the best player in the world?
That's a good question, Mars, because you do that. You so I have a difficult time keeping. Yeah, I have a difficult time keeping track with you because you sold me on the Jalen Green thing, and then you'll
you bought all the stock,
and then you'll get back in with Joker, and then you'll get back in with SGA. So I mean, you're a bunch of different places.
I don't recall saying that if Team A wins a championship, he's the best player in the world.
Of course, you don't recall saying that. I do though.
You don't recall me saying it either.
I think the Tatum stuff is just that most of us, I don't speak for everybody else, but for me personally, if you told me Jayson Tatum was missing the series and everybody else was healthy, I would probably still pick them to win the series against the Knicks.
I would love to see that. I'd love to see, knock on wood, I would love to see Jayson Tatum go out, and I'd love to see the Boston Celtics march to the NBA championship, because I will get off this Jayson Tatum logic. I would love to see it, because I would 100% get off of it. You won't hear another word from me about Jayson Tatum being this guy ever again, ever. I would 100% get off that hill.
I mean, he wasn't the best player
because apparently
two very important rounds last year
are very much the equivalent to a super team, quote unquote, with Jayson Tatum in the lineup. And if you take him out of the lineup, they don't really miss much.
They are the most expensive team in NBA history for a reason.
So was the Oklahoma City Thunder in 18-19, and they got mopped in the playoffs. So give me a break. We ain't doing
Jayson
that.
Tatum weren't the most great in the team.
Yes, they were.
They were the most expensive team in NBA history.
In history, I don't know. Did you say the most expensive team in history, or you said the most expensive team in the NBA?
Well, every
history. I said that right now, the tax bill that the Celtics are paying, they are the most expensive team in NBA history.
Why does that matter?
Period.
I mean, the Warriors have had a
tax
bill.
If that's
they didn't
not
win the NBA championship.
Here's the thing: it's not if it's not a super team, then what the hell is it? Because Drew Holiday, last I checked, a little bit removed from his peak, but was the second best player on a championship team. Okay, Jayson Tatum is, okay, sure, he's their best player. Jaylen Brown was a Finals MVP. You got Kristaps Porzingis, who I think for a lot of teams out there would be their second option. So yeah, you don't have LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. Cool, congratulations. You have 5 players that easily could be like the second best player on a really damn good team.
And then he's getting the interesting thing is that he gets discredited.
No, I'm not talking about Al Horford. I was talking about Drew Holiday, Derek White.
He does get discredited for that, and I think it's wrong that Jayson Tatum gets discredited for the fact. And then
you got to say, and you got perhaps like the best bench guard. You probably
no. Don't try to
clean this up.
No, I'm not cleaning anything up. I think it's wrong that Jayson Tatum gets discredited for the fact that the Celtics are really good. I also think it's wrong that people like yourself and other people like you seem to think that if the Celtics win, that makes Jayson Tatum the best player in the world. I disagree with that too. I think the truth is Jayson Tatum is an amazing player, one of the 5 best players in the world. The Celtics winning or losing is not entirely dependent on what he does, unlike a team like the Nuggets or the Bucks with Giannis or OKC to a lesser extent. And I don't think that's Jayson Tatum's fault, but him winning doesn't mean he's better than those guys. The same way if the Celtics win without Jayson Tatum, you saying, I'll get off the Jayson Tatum train, I think that's extreme too.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
Because you seem to think the winning and losing is predicated on him.
Mars.
It's not. It is.
It
doesn't need to be.
What team has their lead that their best player when they lose him
the
and they're still winning?
The 2017 Warriors could win a series without Kevin Durant. They could win a series.
I didn't say win a series. I said march
that
through the
doesn't
playoffs.
mean they're less important.
I said
that's what Penn said. Penn said they could beat the Knicks. It's not. Like Jayson Tatum not being needed for the Celtics to win a series or maybe even 2 series doesn't mean Jayson Tatum is less good of a player. It doesn't mean he's less good of a player. Him winning a championship with this team doesn't mean he is more good as a player. The reality is he's just really good and he's not the best in the world. I disagree with you on that, and I disagree with people. Joel seems to be more on the side of Jayson Tatum is carried by a great team. I don't agree with him. And the person who was on last week, I disagree with him too. I disagree with him.
Who elevated their team more this year when healthy? Victor Wembanyama or Jayson Tatum?
Hold on, man.
Jason Wemby floor raised more, but I still think Jayson Tatum's a better player.
I agree that he's a better player.
Wemby had to floor raise more because the Spurs floor is lower. Jayson Tatum isn't in a position where he has to floor raise. I don't think that's a problem.
I think
it's a GM's job to put a good team around someone.
Yes,
when they do that, I don't hold it against the player.
And
I also don't think that winning makes Jayson Tatum the best in the world.
Yeah, and just because the team is expensive.
So what makes you the best player in the world, Mars?
Being better than everyone at basketball. If you are better than every single person at basketball, win, lose, or draw, you are the best in the world. If Jokic loses to OKC, he's still the best in the world. If Jokic wins the championship, he's still the best in the world. That's what is. If you are better than everyone,
I'm just
you're
better at basketball.
Yes,
better at
yes,
basketball.
it's not a foreign concept. You understood it when you was a
Hold on,
teenager
hold on.
because you know Michael Jordan was better than Isaiah Thomas, even when Isaiah Thomas was winning championships. You knew it then, but 30 years later, all of a sudden the concept just disappears from your brain. You thought LeBron James was better than Kobe Bryant in 09 and 2010, but for whatever reason, because Kobe Bryant won, you couldn't say LeBron was better. If you think LeBron was better, just say LeBron was better. It doesn't matter if he won, lost, or draw, because you think the guy was better.
But I didn't think that though.
Yes, you did. You said it to me. You said word for word. In 09 and 2010,
you have said this, Chill. You have said this.
I thought that James was better. I did think that James was, and I couldn't deny it anymore. Right.
So
and
you
I
thought LeBron was better. That's what you thought.
But the other things matter though, Mars. But the other things matter. I don't just look at it like you do, where it's just you're a basketball player.
Being the best. What matters more than being the best?
What matters more than being the best? Just because, see, that's not the way basketball works, Mars. Basketball works. Say that one more time.
Being better, the only thing that matters when it comes to who's better is who's better. That's the only thing that matters.
Spoken like a two-time PCL
if the
champ.
Conversation is who's the best. Nothing else matters than who's the best. Why would anything else matter in that conversation?
But wait, why would Kobe not be based on what you said previously, though, Chill, why would Kobe not be better than Jordan or than LeBron if he did win 2 finals MVP and two straight finals?
I did have him as, for that reason, I had him as the best.
No, because he thought LeBron was better, but he couldn't say it.
I had to stay consistent with because winning did matter. Because winning matters. That's why.
You thought LeBron.
And I don't just look at it like you do. Even if I did think that he was better as a basketball player, like you do, just because you think that guys are just better as basketball players. The fact that mic check.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You're good.
The fact that you are just better at basketball, that's not the end all be all. It's not. And the reason why it's not, because you affect games in different ways. Even if we've had guys who are better basketball players who don't affect the game like other people do. And they play different on
Give me an
teams.
example.
Mark Aguirre.
Mark Aguirre what?
Mark Aguirre wasn't better at basketball than Adrian Dantley. Adrian Dantley was a better basketball player than Mark Aguirre. He was better on the box. He was a better scorer. He was better on the glass. And
so why didn't he impact the game more?
Why didn't he impact
why
the game?
didn't he? If he was better, why didn't he impact the game more?
Mark Aguirre?
Yeah.
He did impact the game more.
So then he was better.
No, that's not. Mars, you something else trying to twist words. That's not what's going on here.
Yo,
how in 2019 better, but you impact the game.
In 2019, who was the best player in the world after that season when the Raptors won the championship? Was it Kawhi for you?
No, it wasn't. It was Jay.
It was for a lot of people.
But why was it not Kawhi then, though?
But it's not just because you win the NBA champ.
No, because he
it's not just that he won; it's how he won.
But he impacted. No, stop.
LeBron missed the playoffs.
But I'm saying, but he still impacted winning to more as a number one option, based on winning the championship. He impacted winning more than any other player in the league. So, like, why would that? Because you just said about Mark.
Anymore? I mean, he played 60 games that year, and that was a really good Toronto team that he was on. Yeah, really good Toronto team that he was
Mars
on.
said it just. Yeah, so
regular season he was all right. He was not a top five.
He wasn't great.
He played the playoffs that year. He played the playoffs that year. Then he won the title. So let's just say, but I guess that's what I'm trying to understand, Chill. He did the job. He finished the job as the number one option. Two-way basketball, elite two-way basketball.
Yep. And he was in the conversation for being the best player in the world. 100%. That was a real conversation in 2018, 2019.
Some people was
as a little bit of a resident Raptors expert. Let me just put it this way: through 3 rounds prior to Golden State, he was in conversation for the greatest playoff run by a single individual in NBA history. He wasn't just the best player in the world. For 3 rounds, which includes Milwaukee,
correct,
which includes Orlando, which includes Philly, 2.5 really good teams there. He was honestly on par with the best playoff run that I've ever seen an individual play.
Sure. So again,
right
the context of that, and Pin, that's good information. It is helpful because I think that adds to the point. Kawhi went on a historic run, Pin, as you're talking about, like 11 with Dirk, 95 with Hakeem, crazy, and then Hakeem goes and punches David Robinson and Shaquille O'Neal in the face. We get that, but I'm saying Hakeem was in best in the world talks. Jordan or not, he was in best in the world talks at that point in time. But we get to this point, I guess what I'm trying to understand, Chill, is like if Kobe was in best in the world talks, which he was for a lot of people, and then he wins a championship in 2009, wins a championship in 2010, beats 2 elite teams in the Boston Celtics back-to-back, is the best player on those teams. But you're saying that LeBron was better because you knew he was better, but you didn't feel like you could give him that name or that tag because Kobe looked like he impacted winning more, even though you
because the winning separated it at that point. I feel like they still at that point were even though I thought James was better, I feel like the winning separated it.
So you think that Tatum and Jokic are neck and neck then? Even taking away the
I'm in the minority. So
no, but you well, hold on, whoa, Joel.
Your minority might just be you.
Wait,
because I don't think most Celtics
are chill a minority.
No, all right, that's great. No, Euro. But chill. This is new information because a month ago you said to us that Joker was by far.
Chat, y'all know what to do.
I said there was a gap between Joker and everybody else. I did say that.
But But why are you now saying that they're in the conversation together?
Because the playoffs have happened and what I've seen in the playoffs to start. And I'm thinking that if I get this
three
kind
games,
of
so those 3 games are what I'm saying.
If I get this kind of playoff run, from Jayson Tatum, which is what I've been waiting for, and he's already been as a top 5 player, because I hear you guys all the time talking to me about guys jumping other guys. A prime example would be Tyrese Haliburton, because if the Indiana Pacers end up going to the NBA championship and winning it, I promise you that Tyrese Haliburton will go, and not just winning it, him being the finals, winning the NBA championship and the finals MVP, I promise that he will go from being a arguable top 25 to top 20 player to being arguably a top 10 player. That's going to happen. So there's going to be some people
that are going
to have that conversation.
You goddamn right.
Hold on, Ron, but I'm saying just for context, you said that we're all doing this based on 3 games.
We're doing this based on how the playoffs have started.
I know. I'm giving you the context.
Chill. Why do you think he was voted most overrated?
And not just maybe they were wrong. And not just how the playoffs have started. I'm not just going off what I've seen from Jayson Tatum this year in the play. I'm going off what I've seen.
You just said that updated information is the 3 games.
100. But how do you think?
But Jayson Tatum has 3 games. How many does Jokic have that were elite so far this playoff?
Well, these 3 games. He doesn't just have 3 games.
This playoffs have changed your mind.
This playoffs. If I can get this kind of playoff run, in addition to what I've gotten in the past from him.
But you've already said Jokic has given you better in the past.
I did say that Joker has done that 100%, no doubt. But what I'm seeing from Jayson Tatum now, in addition to what he's already done, which is now elevating him, which is making him better. And if he goes to the NBA championship and wins the NBA championship and is the finals MVP, having this kind of historic playoff run that I think, in addition to what he already has, I 100% think that.
But chill. But I guess
Swiper. I gotta step in. We got 3 hours tomorrow and we got 3 hours on Friday for you guys to argue about.
They both play tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Celtics play first.
Yeah.
They play first.
So
Tatum has been better than Haliburton so far in this playoffs too.
Yes, he has been. Yes, he has been.
Yeah. But hey, I mean the game winners, but we don't have time to get into that.
Yeah, 2 game winners. I'll give you that.
All right. What you say, gang, sent through a super chat and said, "This is from Mars. Are you ready for Arsenal to catch that PSG belt to ass?" Huh?
What did he say?
Are you ready for Arsenal to catch that PSG belt to ass?
Mars has already told us a number of times he does not watch football. He does not watch.
They lose. I ain't gonna watch the game.
He does not watch football. He said that to us more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times.
All right, there you go. Ray B sent through a members chat and said, "Enough with the 2-hour-long Jokic glaze."
Was that what happened today before I got on?
No, I don't think so.
It actually got extended.
Minutes, but extended with you.
It got extended.
You brought us to overtime. And
all we were doing was.
Well, I got to line it up. I don't know what to tell you. I was chilling.
You could have rejected the invitation.
I know, but you're my friend. I don't see you but 3 hours a day.
No, Spike. You shouldn't have rejected the invitation because we want you.
Ox, I will never turn down a brunch invitation with you, Ox. Never.
Facts. And we got plenty of brunches ahead of us. What I'm saying, though, Spike, is this: we don't turn down the invitation, but you didn't have to come up here and get that nasty though. Like it was already bad enough.
Nasty.
I was Penn was all. I couldn't believe what I was hearing from Penn already, and then you came in, and it was like,
You're gonna keep hearing it.
Double glaze, yum sauce.
I know. I'm prepared for that.
Yum sauce. All right, y'all.
Yum sauce.
Come on. Hey, no, we got it.
I might write it out and print it out and send it to you. These are the centers that Jokic is better than defensively.
I would actually like to read that and study that. Please send that through.
JMC sent through a members chat and said, "Is Jokic a better defender than Kaman Maluach?"
Who's that?
He's a college player.
Draw prospect for this year.
No.
Trumpin?
No, he's not.
Give me come on.
So that's another rookie who's gonna be better than Jokic. Check.
Mavs fan 06 said Chill got a thing for inefficient jump shooters, Tatum and Jalen Green. Then he's saying Jaylen Brown and Najee the same level of superstar protection for his old ass.
I did
be
not
up
say
here.
that.
His old ass be up here
Najee
yapping. He don't watch the game.
I did not say that.
This
I
dude
did
just be
not
hating
say that.
all day.
I
Mavs
did
fan
not say
06.
I did not say that.
They're lying on
All right.
Chill's name.
I did.
You wouldn't
not
say that, would you, Chill?
Yeah, I don't even know what.
No. This is what Ox. You know what?
No, Chill, you wouldn't say that.
I'm on Redman 2000. I'll be that. Whatever you think I said it. I said
there
that.
You go.
Those allegations.
I do want that.
There you go.
I said it. You think I said that? If that's where you think I'm at with it, I said it. I said that Jaylen Brown is the same defender and level of protection over Luka on Luka as Najee Marshall. Bet I said
Same level of protection.
That's how you let it ride, Chill.
Yup,
That's
I
what
said
I'm
that.
talking about.
Bet.
That's what I'm talking about.
said
This is playoff Chill has arrived. Standing on
I said
business.
that.
I like it. All right, we got another members chat from Wizardo. Wizardo said, whose second round exit would affect their legacy more?
Neither.
Shea or D Mitch?
Neither.
D Mitch has a legacy.
D-Mitch.
Respectfully, yeah. He did. Remember, well, prior to Cleveland, he was known as one of the best playoff scorers we've seen.
Yes.
Prior to Cleveland. And then Cleveland happened. So, but I think neither.
I've never
just say-
heard Donovan
think-
Mitchell legacy talks. I've never heard that.
I think that was
Well,
very
every
early.
player has a legacy.
Very
No, but I
early
mean, like,
in
I've
his
never
career.
heard anything like, how does this affect Donovan Mitchell's legacy? I've never heard that, like, ever in my life.
I
I'm
mean,
not
but
saying Donovan
it-
Mitchell's not a good player, or I don't care about the legacy talks. I've just never heard anyone be like, if the Cavs lose, what does that do for Donovan Mitchell? I've never heard anyone say that sentence ever.
I'm here to tell you, I'm gonna hold it against them when we bring
this
up
team?
this little shooting guard. Hey man,
This team, he just had 40 yesterday.
everybody else gets knocked. Giannis got knocked from missing
Yeah,
teammates.
He got an
Right?
offensive foul and then didn't get the rebounds, and then
Giannis,
Donovan Mitchell has
Giannis gets knocked for being hurt, right?
Giannis is, well, he was not hurt this year.
He was hurt last
How
year.
do you know? He
And,
might have been dealing with
it's-
something.
and it still got held against him. Just like last year, Donovan Mitchell was hurt, still got out in the second round.
It didn't. No one held it against him.
I'm holding it against him.
One person held it against him.
Mhm. But y'all, we got to keep it pushing. Ant MJ235 said after last night, Mars, are you ready for Levine and Bam being an Ants tier conversation again?
Can't wait. But yeah, we didn't even talk about that game because we got all caught up. But yeah, Ant didn't look good.
Wait, what was the score, Chill?
He
Was
got
it
busy in the second
45 to 31 at half?
It was something
Shot
bad.
over.
It's too late to talk. It's too late to talk about that. We had our chance.
It looked like Rockets Warriors game 8. That's what it looked like. Rockets Warriors game 8.
We had our
It wasn't-
chance. And you blew it.
Ox,
Anthony
Lakers
Edwards made
fans
his
were on my
first
timeline
jumper
complaining.
in the fourth
Swiper,
quarter.
you blew it on
And break the
off-season
can't blame me.
conversations.
You
This
can't blame me.
this
You
was
can't blame
such
me.
this was such a
No.
July conversation.
Ron is the host. He started it. I mean, I don't tell you.
Hey, when
I
it's a
don't
good
blame you.
conversation, I can't stop it. I can't. That's in my job description. Okay.
I begged you, Pin. I begged you.
NYC Demon said Hali is really good, but man, the Pacers haven't played a healthy team in 2 years. Makes these series much less enjoyable. You still have to take advantage of a weak team, but every series is crazy.
That is true.
That's
5
very
straight
true.
series now where someone's been hurt.
And what about when they weren't healthy? Last
We
I
brought it up.
checked, last year Benedict Mathurin wasn't there.
And
Last I
Haliburton.
checked last year, Hali was in and out the lineup. But no, we don't get that. Do we? Do we?
I think that matters too. We brought up when we talking about how Boston went through an injured team. They went through Pacers without Hali. Like, I think it matters. But
I want to say this sucks for Cleveland fans. Cleveland fans have been waiting for this for 50. What is this now? Chill. 58 years, 59. They got 1 year with LeBron, and then now they get their best team ever. Even with the
1 year with LeBron, they went
Yeah.
to the finals. How
no,
many
I'm saying
times?
1 year
Four
winning the
straight
title, winning the
Oh,
title.
okay.
And then
All
this year
right.
they were title contenders, their first real non-LeBron like great team, and they got
Well,
hurt.
any Cleveland
y'all-
fans
did y'all
who are
see-
really
did y'all
sad
hear
out
that?
there, try being Wizards fans.
Did y'all hear that arena though? How loud it was, how into the game they were, and then when that shot went through, it was dead silent.
Mm-hmm.
It's
it was
okay,
quiet.
Cleveland.
they'll be
Bron-
back for game 5 louder than ever. 2-2.
Bron to come back home next year, Cleveland. Until then, give me that damn chain.
The look of horror on that Cleveland crowd was like, wow.
Yeah.
We're not coming back there. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all can't talk me off that ledge. I think the queue is closed.
Yeah, chill. You've convinced me too.
Well, the Cavs gonna win game 3, and then they have no choice but to be back there. So.
Hey, Bron will be back next year. Don't worry about it. DSG Piccolo sent through a members chat and said, "Swiper, y'all beat the Clippers because of an AG game winner too."
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Thunder because of AG too. AG's a
not Jokic.
But did you see somebody on Twitter? I gotta remember. He's more than a role player, and I think he's below an all-star, but more than a role player is the name we're trying to give for people like that, like Derek White, Aaron
He's
Gordon.
a sub all-star.
Well, I mean, he's just incredible. He does everything. Like to Ox's point, like he talked about it before. He does everything. Like he literally does everything.
Arch sent through another super chat and he said, "Yes, Mars, cook. Tatum is trash."
It's Embiid, chill. I'm telling you, it's Embiid.
He's already said that. He's already said that he's a Tatum hater. So he already said that.
Everyone needs haters, man.
Wait, but Embiid and Tatum had the same trainer and Drew Hamlin. Why don't they like each other?
You seen what he did to Tatum shot selection.
Average Joe said, hypothetical, do you think that if the same Celtics team in 2022 was the team that won in 2024 without the KP and Drew additions, would Tatum be given more credit or does it not matter?
Yes.
Yes, he would.
KP barely played in the finals, so I don't think KP's addition really holds much weight for Jayson.
He did play though. In fact, I think that game 3 was the difference.
Was it game 3 or game 1 he played?
Game 1 was
game 1 crazy. They like 24 or something like that, like the first half or something.
He was punishing them mismatches. It was tough.
It was a big deal. Completely disregarded.
Yeah, Tatum won in 22. I can remember I had him over Durant that year, and people thought that was crazy. And I think he was if he won that championship that year. Oh, the 100 turnovers never would have been a conversation.
And if he won that championship that year, we wouldn't be listening to Steph over KD all the time anymore.
Average Joe sent through a super chat and said, "I got you, chill. Just use the T-Mac example. If we just talking basketball, how is he not a top 25 to 30 guy ever or a top 5 shooting guard ever? It's because winning matters." I get what you're saying. It's not just who's better at basketball.
I mean, I could tell you T-Mac's not top 25 or 30 because his longevity didn't stack up. Peak for peak, T-Mac, I think, is a top 5 shooting guard. If you give me the best single season of 5 shooting guards, I think 03 T-Mac is probably top 5. Probably. If he's not, he's like 6 or 7.
He is.
Yeah,
top
so, like,
5.
that's how high I am on single season peak T-Mac. The issue is that didn't sustain for very long. So, purely basketball reasons, I could give you many reasons why T-Mac isn't a top 5 shooting guard.
Is that better than Kobe's 06 season?
25. I think I would have Kobe above him, Wade above him, MJ above him for sure. Then you would have the conversation about James Harden. You'd have the conversation about guys like Allen Iverson, and then Clyde Drexler and them. And then Jerry West is a 2 guard. Then yeah, he's not top 5, but I think Jerry West is a point guard. So like he would be in that group, peak for peak, single season. But once you start extending it out, he's not in that conversation because he really only had like 5, 6, 7 really good years, and none of them were even close to 03. So that's why he's not top 5 shooting guard, and that's why he's not a top 25 to 30 player. And I gave you all of those reasons without bringing up the fact that he never got out of the first round.
Vince
Carter, and then I could talk about the fact that his shot selection wasn't very good. He took a horrible diet of deep 21-foot jump shots. The fact that his passing,
so what would he look like today?
Scoring didn't match out at the same time,
so
and his defense regressed a lot by the time he got to Houston.
Yeah. So what would he look like today? What would he look like today in the long ball era? But go ahead, Mars. I mean, I'm good, bro.
I think T-Mac would look really good today. I think
Arch sent through yet another $100, and he said Mars is Gordon Ramsay cooking.
It's Embiid.
It's a good comparison.
Yep, you got it.
That's a good
Respect Steph said, "Please don't let no one discredit the Warriors defense by saying the Timberwolves just had an off night. #respect Draymond."
Give me a break. They went 0 for 15 at the long ball line. Stop this. Stop making it sound like the Warriors were just fucking awesome. No, they weren't. Minnesota went 0 for 15 at the long ball line.
Buddy Hield on that part of the cycle where he
all of a sudden now Buddy Hield knows how to shoot the basketball. It's the same Buddy Hield that we talked about in the beginning of the season, who Mars vividly remembers saying to us, "This Buddy Hield is going to show up again. Let him shoot the ball, but then he's going to," and then he shows up, and then now this Buddy Hield is back. When is the other Buddy Hield going to show up again? Give me a break, man.
Hey, Buddy Hield's been a two-way player. If they get this Buddy Hield for another month, they might be in the finals before he goes back to duty. So, like, as long as you get the right Buddy Hield at the right time, you got a shot.
They
Buddy
might
Hield
win.
playing great right
That
now.
bro, they chill. They were down. There was 9-point game in the fourth quarter, and they ran that DHO for Buddy, and Buddy swacked it. I was like, oh
Now,
wow.
no Steph. I think they gotta be 2-2 going into game 5.
Nobody here has not
Honestly,
been.
like this
No,
is
he
a
hasn't.
bad series for Julius Randle, man. And
Why?
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it from a mile
Man,
away.
Mars, if I might have been,
This
I
looks
might have
bad.
been around late, but I was right.
Nah, see, like this is the thing. I gave Julius Randle credit for what he did against the Lakers.
Oh, for
You
sure.
always know Julius Randle has the opportunity to Julius Randle.
Dude,
Game one, Julius Randle.
But what did I say coming into this series? That he would be tested more. He will be tested more because they're not running this stagnant ass my
There
turn,
were
your turn
times when he
offense.
has Buddy Hield
Fellas,
on a
we got to
mismatch
move
and
on.
he's
You guys had your opportunity to talk about this series, and you wanted to see.
You're right,
there
you're
you
right,
go.
you're right.
Look. Now that we got to move on, he want to get out of here. All right, but the next super chat is from Jamal. Jamal said,
crazy.
Tatum is top 10 in on-off ball gravity. So without him in a series, who is the playmaker responsible for getting the other shooters open for three?
Jalen Green is top 10 in on and off ball gravity, by the way.
Cook, Mars.
So do with that stat what you will. I'm just letting you know Jalen Green is top 10 in both of those stats also. So
all right. Andrew Coleman said, first time in NBA history where the road teams are 5-0 in the playoffs and the Cavs are LeBron cursed. LOL.
LeBron 1-4 in the finals with the Cleveland Cavaliers too. So and that one was a stimulus package from the NBA.
Be True 23 said Ron. So I'm guessing Cade is no longer better than Hali. New information, baby. New information. One okay said, just saw someone say Jokic would take the 17 Thunder to the conference finals, and that 17 Russ on this Nuggets team is out in the play-in. Blasphemy.
17 Thunder, they were the 6 seed that year. They're not making the conference finals. I doubt they win in round 1, but
Jerryality said, Joel, you're cooking. Brunson really the best point guard in the league. He's just 6 foot.
Top 3 for sure. He's more like 5'10" too.
Top 3, so he better than Steph?
Yeah, I can have him over Steph.
Nice.
The Baller Shot Caller 1999 said, chill. How much does losing to Kobe affect him not being on your top 10?
Oh, it's the reason why he's not in the top 10. For that reason right there. You're right. You're exactly right. It's because of that right there.
Just so we're clear on information, Jalen Brunson 6'2", legit 6'2".
Like legit 6'2".
Yeah,
Legit,
he measured 6'1" barefoot.
I stood next to him and we were literally like
6'2", 6'2" and a quarter in shoes.
Because I seen a picture with Kenny Beecham standing next to him, and Kenny's like 5'7", 5'8", and they were like similar heights.
No. Unless he lied about his combine measurements, which is impossible.
Maybe he shrunk. You know, you shrink with age.
You do shrink with age, not at 29. Okay?
Yeah.
Not at 28, 29 years old. Okay.
Some speeds up the process.
I'm Dre Q. Pretty sure that's how you say your name. He became a member today, so shout out to Dre Q for joining up. And LeVar B. Ballin sent through a super chat and said those two Jokic angels are the same as LeBron sexuals, disrespecting players to compliment their Lord and Savior, Cone on defense. Who's that?
Luka.
Swiper and Pen.
Damn.
That's what he was talking about. I'm not saying I agree with him. I'm just saying that's who he was talking about.
Average Joe said, as a Lakers fan, I ain't trying to hear all these Luka excuses. Come on, bro. Luka not engaging enough on defense is why we lost to the Wolves in 5.
It's a reason why. It's not the only reason.
You didn't have a center.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the main reasons either.
Coach.
It's very rare that a team loses a series for one reason and one reason only.
Luka was their best player. I don't get that. That's stupid.
LaFlame said sweeping the Pacers isn't for everyone.
Maybe if Hali ain't playing, maybe the Cavs could have done it too.
Nah. Darian Hernandez said, I don't know why Chill talks about Tatum like players and fans lose sleep over playing against him. As a Warriors fan, I lost more sleep playing versus Ja.
I don't know why you're losing sleep at all. You ain't on the court. What you losing sleep for?
Hunter sent through a super chat and said, Luka, quote unquote, what if Doncic?
What if it's disrespectful? He made the finals. It's a fact.
I lost.
Like 11 months ago, man. 11 months ago, he's right there. And now he's a bum who's
ripped away from
270
his
pounds.
team.
And now he's a bum who's 270 pounds, can't play hoops anymore.
He's not a bum. He's a top 10 player. I think everyone agrees with that.
Top 10.
He
was in top 3 like a year ago. I think he's top 5 generously right now. Top 5.
I think most people still have him top 5.
Cool.
Irregular said Kyrie played terrible on the road. His home games were amazing. Remember, Kyrie went crazy. Luka fouled out game 3. LOL. Couldn't protect home court.
It's the only game he played well in. Yeah.
No, he had 2 good games. Unless, of course, your bar for good is 35 points. But he had 2 decent games.
Mavs fan 06 said, R.I.P. Chill, 1903 to 2025.
Why don't you go play in traffic on the freeway? How about that?
God damn.
I got a super chat from OG Team. OG Team said, is this Knicks team better than any team the Celtics faced last year on their way to the championship?
No.
That's a good question.
Are they better? Are they better than that Indiana team? Well, I mean, they got hurt, but
yeah, no, I think you can make the argument.
They're the first healthy team they're playing. I'll say that.
Yeah, if the Knicks didn't get hurt against Indiana, I mean, it went 7 games with the injuries we had. So I think we could have beat them, and we're probably just as good, if not marginally better than last year. So I think this is the best team that they've played outside of Dallas, of course. Outside of Dallas.
Average Joe with a super chat. Average said, how many teams have come back after losing the first 2 home games? Only ones I could think of are the Rockets in 95, Mavs in 05, and the Clippers in 2021.
Did the Mavs in 22 lose the first 2 to Phoenix? I genuinely can't remember. That's just me asking. I can't remember if it was 1-1 or 2-0. I'll check.
The Mavericks were down 0-2, but the Suns were at home, so they weren't the road. The Mavericks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the Bucks did it, but they were the road team against the Nets. You know, they were down 0-2 and they came back in the series. I don't know how many times a favorite has done it where they've been down 0-2 and they've come back. But
yeah, I couldn't tell you.
We've seen it before with like just away and home teams.
War V Room sent through a super chat and said, I think people boost Jokic's defense because of how good he is offensively. If Jokic was an average offensive player, then y'all would be lower on his defense.
Yeah, because he wouldn't be on the court as much.
No, I'm isolating his defense perfectly well.
You said that's practically impossible to do, but now you're telling me you're doing it perfectly well.
It's impossible for you to do.
You said you said it earlier. Right. You got it. You got it.
You got to train. You got to train your eyes.
That's why Art sent through the super chat. That's why he sent through the super chat.
My fault.
Keep going.
You're the one who can do it. My bad. Shouldn't have doubted you.
Mavs fan 06 said, Joel watches Mavs games. You can tell by his Luka take.
Mavs fans support Luka, man.
Anytime you glaze Luka, all of a sudden that's the only people who watch the games.
Shout out to my man. He tapped in. Average Joe said, is Jokic conceding threes to Caruso, Dort, Jalen Williams, bad defense, or part of the strategy? Does it all depend on the outcome/result?
I think it's strategy based.
You know, some of it's strategy based. Some of it you can see is blown coverages, but that happens for everyone from game to game. I actually think MPJ blew more coverages than Jokic in game 1, but
for sure,
no one watches MPJ for defense, so no one pays attention when he does nonsense. Everyone's scrutinizing everything Jokic does on a possession-to-possession basis. So they'll see him give up 3 layups and be like, see, can't play defense, and ignore like the 12 possessions where he was actively keeping people away from the rim.
Did you not see that part where Jamal Murray just surrendered an offensive rebound because he just forgot to box out? I mean, shit, it happens like every 6 possessions. And if you don't end a defensive possession with a defensive rebound, then I'm sorry, your defense is cooked. Right? You give up 15, 18 offensive rebounds. Look what happened yesterday. That's what happens. So, you know, I'm sorry, but a guy who cleans the glass the way Jokic does, you have to get some credit on that.
I agree.
All right, y'all. We got a couple new members, but before I shout out those new members, let me shout out our Hall of Famers. You know, Teddy Hart, Jason Grill, Hall of Famers like Worldwide Mace TV and Minor. Oh, and then the GOATs of the Hall of Fame crew, Cheese, and Multi Kenny. I hope to catch y'all on Playback later tonight when we watch the Knicks take down the Celtics and go up 2-0. Y'all be sure to pull up and enjoy this game with us. And also, shout out to these new members. Toon, All Dubs, No L's, and WJ. Salute to them. Average Joe sent through a super chat and said, did this man just name a team coached by Glenn? WTF. Devin Booker had back-to-back games where he shot like 80%, and this man brought up a Glenn Rivers team.
Yeah, I think people have forgot what Devin Booker was doing in the 2023 playoffs.
He was great, but he rolled his ankle, and then in game 6, he was bad.
Yeah.
But the other Sun starter was Campaign. They had Campaign, Jock Landale, and Landry Shamet starting.
No, but Landry Shamet like damn near won them a game in the fourth quarter.
He did win them one game, but for the most part, he was pretty bad. I just think that Sixers team was good with Embiid and Harden. Tobias isn't bad, even though in the playoffs he shrinks. But I think it's more so due to his contract.
Well, Embiid missed the first 2 games of the series, no?
Yes, he did, and Harden was able to win one.
Harden got him that game, and then he won them another game.
Yeah, but the Sixers were good. You know, they choked. You know, I don't think it's really all on Doc Rivers that they choked. I think Embiid and Harden just didn't show up when it mattered.
It always matters, but yeah, I agree with you.
El Chavo with a super chat. El Chavo said, man, F this swiper dude. I hope the Nuggets get smacked in 5 by OKC.
You know, there is like people who actively root against the Nuggets because of Swiper. Like, not because they don't like the Nuggets.
I'm literally one of them.
Like, there are people who
biggest Nugget glazer before I met Swiper. I'm not.
I don't even like them, but I want them. I don't even have any hate for them, but I want them to lose just off the strength of you.
Like that's
I'm not even kidding.
Like, he's nowhere. He's not a player on the team. He's not a coach. But people genuinely root against the Nuggets because of
I want to see their downfall because of you, not because I don't like them, but because of you. You the reason why I want them to fail miserably.
It's unfortunate to say, but yes, it is true.
All right, y'all. I got another super chat from a guy that you guys know very well. And a guy that, well, it's debatable whether he cooked or not, but a lot of people think he cooked. But he goes by the name of Mike the Champ. Mike the Champ said Brunson is better than SGA. One shot for my life, I would take Brunson over SGA.
And you would lose your life.
The universe.
And you would lose your life.
Well, not
one shot for your life based on fourth quarter splits in the regular season and the playoffs.
Maybe Brunson does have a better chance of making that shot. I just think if the better player is who you trust with one shot for your life, it's a very interesting way of ranking things.
Well, I'm running a poll right now. Who's better? And Brunson's got 36% of the votes. So
you're telling me the same chat that had the majority saying Cade is better than Brunson now is voting 40% for Brunson over Shea. Okay. Crazy.
New information, Mars.
Cade
New information.
Better than
Cade is better than Brunson, but Brunson is apparently somewhat close to Shea. Okay.
All right, y'all. Last super chat of the day comes from a fella named Darren Hernandez. Darren said, Mars is just a troll. Mars is just a troll from the UK who isn't able to experience the ups and downs of what a real fan goes through. Keep eating your beans.
I just
do you eat beans? What kind of beans?
I don't know.
Black beans?
Pinto beans?
Kidney beans? That's cool.
I just think if you're so invested in the outcome of a sports team that you're losing sleep, you probably should get your priorities in order. I'm sorry, I just think that's probably what you should do.
Life is I would say life is like 10% better when your team's doing well, though. I think that's okay though.
That's fine. Like you can enjoy when a team's doing well, but if your quality of life is being affected negatively because of your team, you should probably sort that out. I think that's concerning.
You telling me those Jalen Green 2 for 13 performances don't keep you up? No?
Hell no.
No? Okay.
I sleep so peaceful, win, lose, or draw. Like, this is why I'm able to just switch teams so freely, because I'm not really engaged with any of these teams. Like, I just watch the games. Like, I'm not losing. Jalen Green can have 40. I'm not all of a sudden too excited to sleep, and he can go 0 for 12, and I'm not all of a sudden too depressed to sleep. Like, nah, I'm asleep peacefully regardless.
So it's because you're evolved and indifferent, and not because you're a hoe.
Yeah, it's because
Okay,
I just
I got
I just like basketball. I like basketball. I'm not
I got you.
tied down to these teams where it's affecting my life.
All right, y'all. It's been a pleasure as always. Joel, appreciate you for coming through. Hope to catch you soon. When can we catch you next? When can we tap on what you got going?
Hey man, I like to do once a week. I like Wednesdays, but if I got more time, I could be on here as well. I like the show. I like the debate you guys get into, and I like the vibe.
Yo, shout outs to Pick a Side, man. I've been subscribed to
I ain't
your
even
channel.
get to talk about the nonsense I seen him post on
Since, I think y'all had like 800 subscribers. Not even kidding.
I seen him asking if Jayson Tatum can pass KD all the time. I wanted to talk about that, but we didn't have time.
Nice. We could talk about it soon.
Hey, we'll get it next week. I promise you, we'll get into it. But all right, fellas, y'all know where we're gonna be. Same time tomorrow, and you now know where we're gonna be tonight. We'll catch y'all soon.
Merry Christmas.